You'll never get to be school trustee.
School trustee.
Yeah.
The most illustrious position out there.
Yeah.
What do we even do? What does a school trustee do?
School trustees are responsible for schools and the trust.
Thanks.
They are the conduit between the community, the parents, and the school board.
Thanks, lawyer.
I mean, that is exactly what they do. So if you have a concern with like the board not handling situations properly or principals,
Sex ed.
They didn't really do much. They couldn't really do much for sex ed other than say parents don't like it. Like they don't control the curriculum, but if there's issues in the curriculum, they can flag it.
Why is that like the segue into politics? Like everyone's gone that route. You have to be a school trustee first.
You don't have to. It's just the cheapest entry into politics.
Oh, is it? It's cheap. Okay.
It's cheap. It's the I don't want to put $100,000 into a campaign.
Well, anything municipal is no.
No, like if you want to be like mayor, it's expensive. If you want to be a regional councillor or city councillor of like note, like you actually want to become one, you got to put in some money. But if you just want to, attend, and it's the easiest because you only got to like attend 2 meetings a month or something, 2 meetings every few weeks.
When you can work too. I think I remember reading
it's a part-time. It's a part-time. Yeah. All the way in Toronto, they made it full-time now.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it sometime. I'm gonna just throw my hat in there.
I'm sure I get all this
TDSP
recordings on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't said anything I wouldn't say. No, there are some things I wouldn't say in public.
I mean, on a public podcast.
But I'm gonna.
You've said some things about kids.
Yeah, I mean, but if I ever take, go public or go for public office, I'm gonna take the Trump approach and just talk like you would in a locker room.
Just talking? What's the show about? It's about nothing. It's about nothing.
Just want these guys to know you got another thing coming, bitch. I'm still around.
I gotta stop swearing. My mom.
That's not possible.
My mom started listening to this podcast. That's my problem. My mom and Pua.
I've been going out of my way not posting any of this podcast information on Facebook where my parents would find it.
Hold on, and you guys think I'm the scared one?
Yeah, I'm not scared.
She's listening right now.
I ain't scared of none of you. Should we introduce you? Should we introduce you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Robbie, your introductions this week.
What?
You're doing the intros. You're doing the intros.
I pass hard. I'm on island time still, so one of you guys.
Oh God.
We got friggin' I don't give a fuck about life Robbie today.
All right, I'm doing it. All right, everybody. Welcome to episode. We should start tracking these numbers. It's an episode.
Season 2, 65, episode 65.
All right, season 2, episode 65. 65. Fuck. Okay, wait.
Hold on.
That's back to the problem with swearing.
Total episodes is 65, but I like putting season 2 in front of it because season 1 was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I put season 2 just to acknowledge that this is the new season. But total running, it's like you guys really don't watch anime, right? Sometimes anime numbering has like its seasons, but then total episode number. So yeah, we're doing.
I watch grown up anime, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, your mom's listening, right?
She wouldn't get the reference. I'm gonna live on the edge.
Anyways, episode 65. Welcome to this week's episode of Much Ado About Nothing.
You got me, Ranjit here. Wait, let's do it. You got me, Ranjit here. One of your hosts. I'm going to throw it over to Shinda. Shinda, where you at? What's up? What's going on in the world?
Hello, everybody. My name is Shinda, a.k.a. Shinda Singh, a.k.a. Iron Bangle, a.k.a. Iron Bagel, a.k.a. There's way too many a.k.a.s here, a.k.a. I'm too old to be playing video games.
All right. And you're supposed to be on vacation, right? Are you going to be here for a while? Are you kicking anywhere soon?
I'm here. Well, I was here all week playing video games. So my wife asked me, she's like, so this week you're off, right? And she gave me like a chore list of things that need to get done around the house that have been pending.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, from this time to this time every day, I'll be playing video games and I don't want to be interrupted.
Sick.
And
all right.
Brave man.
I've still been interrupted almost every single time with little care that I've been interrupted.
planning your end.
That
why
that deep
it's quiet.
baritone voice you guys are hearing is our boy Robbie. He's back from his drug-fueled vacation to the South America. He took
The
his family as
Colombia,
cover.
the
But
cocaine vacation.
tell us, Robbie, how's your vacation? What was it like? What'd you do?
It was good, man. Headed out to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was good with the kids. Interesting. First time traveling with the kids to an all-inclusive with 2 kids on a plane was not fun, but we got through it. We got there. And yeah, man, good weather. I've never been the all-inclusive guy, so it was my first time actually going since my honeymoon, man. That's over 10 years.
Holy
Almost 10
smokes,
years now.
really?
Yeah, man, the only other place I've been to is Aruba. And
I don't even know where
Wait,
Aruba
on
is.
vacation? That's your first vacation, or that's your first
like first
all-inclusive?
all-inclusive. Like, we always went to like Italy or somewhere else. Like we did
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
like go
Hold on,
away
hold on,
and
hold on.
explore.
Can I say how 1% of this comment was? We go to places all the time, like like Italy and like all these other places. No, not all of us. Not all of us go to Europe just occasionally,
My
casually.
boy, you just went on some crazy BC trip, didn't you? I saw you and your kid on a ferry.
Nanaimo. Nanaimo is like.
I don't even know where
considered,
that
like,
is. It's in Canada. Even I don't even know where that is. Hold on, isn't that the place where rich people take planes to get to?
It has its own airport, but it was considered like the homeless capital of Canada for a while.
What?
What?
Nanaimo had a really bad rep. Yeah, Nanaimo was considered like high with homelessness, drug usage.
All right, so where'd you go before that?
Before Nanaimo? I can't even
What was your
remember.
last international trip before COVID?
I went on a cruise.
I'm the 1%er.
Yeah.
What cruises are the Walmart of travel? Let's not get this twisted.
What?
Yo, Disney
In what
Cruise
world?
crazy expensive. What are you talking
It
about?
wasn't a Disney cruise. It was a Royal Caribbean, I think.
Oh yeah,
it's-
you were slumming it. You were slumming it on Royal Caribbean.
buddy. If you look at the prices of like a cruise versus going to Italy, cruises are the discount vacation, except for middle class America.
I'm not gonna lie, Robbie. I've gone to Italy so many times. That place is so expensive.
Fucking
I'm
1%ers.
trying to stay quiet.
Yeah, it's fucking expensive. I'm not even gonna front.
Whatever. So
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
we've gone to other locations. Never did the all inclusive thing in a long time, especially with kids. So went and did that. It was cool. Like 7 days. It took me like what was weird about it is that I actually didn't feel like I was on vacation till like the 3rd day. Like it still takes you some time to get settled and all that. And me being me, thinking I have my Desi Jat card, didn't think I would get sunburn and put a light coat of sunscreen, decided to go on the beach and got sunburned for the first time in my life. So that was a new experience.
Oh, it's a bitch.
Dude, I never felt so non-Jat in my life. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm like, yo, my dad would probably be ashamed of me if I told him. But man, that hurts. You guys get sunburned?
Once, just once, and that's all
The
it took.
fair
It was
skin
me.
of
It was,
all.
it was a
Showed
day
me
in the
his first-
lake. Yeah, it was a day in the lake. We were up in like Collingwood or something. I think it was one of these trips that I took with Shinda, and that's where I finally got sunburned for the first time. Apparently, when you're in the water, you're more susceptible to it.
It's like a
Yeah.
magnifying glass.
It fucking hurts. Oh my god.
Dude,
Uh,
everything, all my shoulders, it's all red, man. I looked more pink than the gore on the beach.
Then you peel.
Yeah, that's happening now. So
Oh.
it's interesting. I got the aloe vera gel and all that. I'm trying to do all that business, but
I feel like I've been sunburned so many times that I just expect to get sunburned these days. Like I go to the.
Sorry, do you consider yourself light skin?
I think I'm the lightest of the skins.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I think I enjoy a fair share of white privilege here. I mean, people have told me that I'm
people look
pasty
at
as
you-
hell.
Yeah, you are. So you get are you a recent convert to the faith or something like that?
I've had people
What-
think I was, yes.
Go to sing.
Yeah.
I've had your Punjabi's very good for Gora, and I'm like, oh, thank you.
Shinda Singh Khalsa.
They're like, why didn't you pick a cooler name? Why do you settle on Shinda? I'm like, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, like I've had it on the upper back, like the neck, shoulder area, when that shit gets peely and super itchy. So you want to itch it, but every time you itch it, you get punished for it.
It
Yeah, I
was.
agree, man.
I'm suffering. Yeah, but yeah. So that was a new experience. Kids had a lot of fun.
You
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, like traveling with kids, are you kids sleep trained?
No.
Oh, so it's free reign anyways.
It's balle balle all day long.
Okay, okay. So then it's okay, right? Like you don't have to go back to your room early
No,
or
but
anything.
it's not sleep trained. It's like they sleep within a reasonable time, right? So like my
Like,
my
yeah,
toddler's not up. Yeah, he's not up till like 2 in the morning.
This was
Right?
Robbie's
But
way of saying, "Listen, I'm not an irresponsible parent here. Stop trying to."
I look, they sleep when it's dark. That's all that matters to me. Okay, that's good. But no, it was like getting them to eat and stuff. Like everything's off with kids, right? But man, they had a blast in the pool, so that's all that matters. So it's good.
You know what's weird about kids? And I experienced this today is how they can take a shit in their sleep. Isn't that not weird? Is that not
My-
weird?
My
Like
kid
they're
was-
sleeping and all of a sudden they cry. They're waking up crying and you got to change the diaper because they took
Yeah, but
they did number 2.
they woke
How's that-
themselves up.
because they pooed in their sleep.
Well,
I'd be terrified as an adult going to sleep and thinking I might shit myself.
No, but if
Can
you
you
knew
imagine
someone,
now?
hold on 1 second. If you knew someone was coming around timed on the clock cleaning your shit, would you be scared?
I don't know. I don't know what
Like-
that feels like. But if I went to sleep tonight, knowing I might take a shit,
but you know that someone's gonna pick you up and clean it on demand. Like you don't even need to go to the toilet. This is like first-hand service. It's like right there. You cry, someone's gonna come and wipe that up for you.
Why
You're
you
gonna be
wake
good
up?
to go.
I'm old enough to feel shame now, right? Like my kid's too stupid to understand what shame is.
Would you feel shameful if it was normal for you?
Oh
Like
man,
that's-
this is.
I can't even wrap my head around that. I can't. I just thinking now, like if I go to sleep tonight and I woke up in the middle of the night, like and I shot myself, I'd be petrified. I would never sleep properly ever again.
As soon as you said my kid's too dumb to real or doesn't have shit, what was it? Whatever you said, I started thinking about my kid. I was giving him a bath, and every now and then they'll get really loose with their bladder in the tub.
Yeah.
And I'm like, buddy, I'm cleaning you, and you're pissing on yourself. Like now is not the time. Then I'm like, but he pisses on himself all the time in the diaper. I guess there is no time.
How humans have made it like this far.
No, it's just
Honestly.
funny how much focus we put on that side of our lives about shitting and going to the washroom. It's such a big concept. Like
But it's such a vital part of our existence.
no, but even like public washrooms, everybody gets like they have their own kind of feeling towards it. But like you look in other parts of the world, they're just shitting on the street, man. It's just go.
Sometimes shitting on the street makes more sense than shitting in some of these washrooms.
I have a confession.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
You know those toilet seat covers?
You
Yes.
put one of those on all the time.
Like my work has them, so I do use them, but I don't.
What
think
are you
I know how
afraid
to use
of?
them properly? I don't know. I don't think I know how to use them properly.
But what are you afraid of? Like a vaginal tract infection or something? Like what the hell?
Wait. What? How do you use them? What's the special technique?
So like they're a square with a little thing in the middle.
A hole,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a hole, but before there's a hole, there's like a loose paper that's like barely attached.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do with that? Are you
Nothing.
supposed
It
to rip it out
perforates it.
completely?
So I hope you're not
Like the
keeping that.
perforated part. Like, what are you supposed to do with that?
I hope you're not keeping that perforated part on, taking a shit on it, and then
Yeah, I'm not. But if someone was, what would you tell them to do with the perforated part? Do you rip it off completely and throw it away? Do you just like loosen it and like flip it backwards, like a flicking your hair back?
this is what I mean. This is how messed up we are as humans. Look how much focus we
No, but
put.
it's kind of complicated. I mean, it doesn't come with instructions either. So
See, I got so complicated by that I'm like, look, I'm gonna just sit on the toilet, but I always wipe it and then wash my hands.
you don't know how to use the seat cover, is what you're saying?
I use it. I found the seat cover to be too cumbersome. Like it would slip and slide. I didn't like I didn't like the traction that it.
You don't like the traction?
Like,
There is no traction.
yeah, no, but once you put the paper, there's
It's not
traction.
comfortable, man.
It's
You know
like
what we
your
need?
ass is slipping around. You want that firm like friction when you sit that you're not gonna.
You want the traction, okay?
So who's been to Japan? I haven't, but I heard
I
the
have.
toilets are insane.
So clean. I came home. I was coming home like Suki, my wife, was tired to go out. I went out on my own. I was coming back at 2 a.m. and took the train. The subway station bathroom is cleaner than like my own house bathroom. It's nuts. It's so clean
Why can't we get there?
because we
Man.
also don't follow rules.
I went to Ching Park once, and we went to one of the public washroom stalls that they had set up for like COVID. Like they closed all their inner buildings, so you have to use the outside washroom stalls that they set up, like the porta potties. But they try to put like fancy porta potties, not just your run of the mill construction porta potty type things. And we went there, and it was so nasty. My kid was like, "Papa, I gotta pee," and he's trying to sit down on the toilet. I'm like, "Nope." So I'm like trying to hold him up, teaching him how to pee standing, and I'm like, I was just like, we are never using these public washrooms again. And then
I can't wait to show my kid how to find the right tree to pee on. Or pull over on the side of the highway.
Isn't that a ticket here?
Yeah, how much could it be?
But like, what age would you even try that? Because I feel like
I
if
would
you do
love
it
to
too
see
young,
the cop that would actually like give the ticket for that to my son.
But what's your case against it?
I don't have a case against it.
Just
No,
pay the
but like
fine,
when you
man.
get it,
He's balling. He needed to go. He needed to go.
Mr. Italy, yeah. I mean, that's the weird thing about kids, right? You teach them something too young, then they think it's normal, and they'll just start pissing on every tree. So you got to wait until he's like responsible enough to know that, look, not all trees are meant for
find
pissing.
a toilet, and then if you can't, you find a tree, but you got to find the right tree.
Yeah, like there's this whole process to it. When's the last time you had to piss outside on a tree, though? It's been a minute.
No, when you play golf, you do a ton.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Actually,
You gotta go. You gotta go. You go into the woods and do your business.
that's true. You go looking for a ball.
So I know we're gonna move on to the next topic soon, but I just want to put it out there that you guys don't know how to use the toilet seat cover either, because not one of you has been able to tell me.
I know how to use it.
What do you do with the perforated thing?
I admitted it.
Toss it
I
out.
found it too uncomfortable that I just stopped using it.
What did you say?
Rip it, toss it out.
Completely, and then you put it down.
As long as it's coding where I need to sit, I'm good. Doesn't matter how it happens.
But yo, if you don't pick the perforated part out, you're gonna get splashback.
Exactly.
So you got to take it off.
You know, we have this thing called Google, and we could just solve this problem right now.
I don't know if I want that in my Google history, low key.
Google search, yeah.
I'll just put it on this public record of this podcast instead. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Robbie's like, I do not want to be part of this topic at all.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yo, what the hell, man?
What? Did your computer just run out of battery?
Tired of this. A good point. Cut me off. It's like right when I'm about to speak.
All right, say your piece.
Anyways, I'm saying, but isn't this like how socially we're messed up in the washroom as well? When you go into washroom, are you always thinking, or you just go in there to do your business? Think about it. You walk in, you look at the urinals, you're thinking, yo, why is that guy so close? You try to get the urinal far away.
I've gotten into a fight like in high school because
there's a whole other social aspect to just going to the washroom. It's
like not going over one. Like if someone goes over to you and there's an empty one, and you're like,
let's say you're on the can. Let's say you're on the can and you hear someone come in. You start thinking, who the hell's that? Where are they going? What are they doing? You're just not sitting there.
I don't think that much. I just think I hope this guy doesn't try to come into my urinal.
So you're still thinking.
I usually do like a warning fart or a warning grunt.
Yeah, I'm okay if one of my friends saddles up next to me, but if it's some random, no, that's weird.
Saddles, that's a great word.
I'm kind of no, buddy. Like you got to take one down, man. I don't want that. I need my space.
Okay, there's a bathroom with just 2 urinals and 1 stall. Okay, and it's you and your buddy that go to the bathroom at the same time. My buddy and me can go have side by side urinals. It's fine.
Not together.
He doesn't have to go to the stall.
You guys don't try to cross swords, play together?
I mean, when we were kids, we might have, depending on the friend.
This is awkward.
Yeah, let's go next topic.
I was gonna say this one. The one thing that does change is when you have kids, you're like that door locking business is out the window. I don't think I've locked the door, or even most times I don't even close the door if I'm just home, because my kids I know is just gonna walk in and start talking to me normally.
We have hit the TMI aspect of this podcast.
Yeah,
hold on, y'all don't go through that. That's just me.
Yeah, that's just you,
man.
Oh fuck. Anyways, phone dependency. How y'all feeling on the cell phone stuff?
Wait, once again, this man does not follow. I know. I didn't even look at the notes. Hold on, let me see.
Oh, he's right. He's right.
Oh, he is right.
Yeah,
I'm following your notes. I don't know why you guys are trying to get at me.
That's fine. My bad. Well,
I love my phone. I love my phone more than anything, and my wife always asks me how much I love my phone, and I love it so much. I don't give a shit.
My phone battery's always drained. which is
But yo,
a sign that I'm always on it.
on vacation, I didn't have my phone most of the time because my kids took it. It was pretty good.
I don't think I could disconnect like that right now. I feel like this is the most dependent I've been on my phone in a long, long time.
But I mean, the purpose of my vacation, I didn't want to think about anybody. So it worked out. Like, I just didn't care.
I can't
I wanted
disconnect
my
like
mind
that.
off. Why not?
I don't know. Like right now, I have no business connected to anything right now, but I still want to know what's going on. I like opening up Twitter. I like opening up Wordle. um, I honestly get bored without if I know that my phone's far away.
You
Do
know,
you,
a
do you
good
guys
cleanse
medit?
is like when I'm away on vacation, it's like a few time zones away, and your timing is just off with the rest
Yeah.
of your world. I find that's a
Hmm.
bit of a cleanse for me. Like India is a great example. It's a whole day and night difference, right? But even Europe, it's pretty good. Like in that sense, I'm away from my phone and I'm looking at it less.
I'm trying to be more cognizant of not using my phone when I'm around my kids, and I'm horrible at that because sometimes they'll just take my phone and toss it around across the room. Um,
How about your notifications? Do you guys turn those off or keep them on?
my So for me, my notifications are off. I have Instagram notifications off, Twitter notifications off. But then you think that solved the problem, like you're not being bombarded with notifications.
You're-
But now I'm like opening the app to see if I did get a notification.
Oh shit. Yeah, I know. I keep certain notifications off. So group chats or in group messages on Instagram, like I have that off. Just direct messages is what I have on.
Yeah.
It's the new crack, man. That's what it is.
Yeah,
I
it's the
love
We're
crack.
dopamine
addicted.
kick, right? The dopamine kick. But yeah, try to stay away from my phone when I'm around my kids. Like make sure they get uninterrupted time. And I don't want them to be like, well, if Papa's always on his phone, maybe that means we're
Mm.
gonna wait to be on our phones.
It's
But it's
gonna be
hard, I'll be
hard, man.
honest.
It's gonna be hard to kick them off. I'm telling you.
Even now,
But
like
they're so affected by it. Like even like everything they want has to be instant, right? Because they're so used to that
hmm
instantaneous reaction with their fingers, getting whatever they want on YouTube, even watching something. Like when we're growing up, we'd have to wait. Like I don't know how to instill that now. It's
it's like I want to watch Paw Patrol. It's like sorry, that came on at 1 p.m. and you had to wait 24 hours for it to come back.
Yeah. Oh shit, you're right. You're so right. My
you
kids
It's
know,
love
like
like
like a little psycho when it comes to
weekend
Paw Patrol.
cartoons.
Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons or whatever it was, right? You missed it. You missed it. So
yeah, I don't think we're gonna ever have Saturday morning cartoons. I remember Saturday morning was you aimed to be up so you got the good stuff.
Before your parents put on Punjabi program, you couldn't watch TV anymore.
Yeah, before the Sohota show came on Channel 7,
Ion Asia.
Ion Asia, that one was the worst. I hated his daughter because I'm like, yo, what's she talking about? And then I would be so annoyed that my parents wouldn't let me change it. And it always like coincided with like the best TV show. Like that's when Spider-Man was coming on or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the hatred. That's what the days of one TV, right? And that's where the hatred for those guys came. It's because we couldn't
Yeah.
watch our show. Man, I used to hate this for this. I don't know why. It's just the TV was all the time. Was it Saturday night, Vision TV.
I love watching Saturday DC TV shows now. Like even now, just for the nostalgia.
Really?
Ion Asia, like that was really pro India, like crazy pro India. It was like pretty much Bollywood, but
I mean, I didn't even know what Pro India was at that time. I just hated the fact that they prevented me from watching Spider-Man.
yeah. But like now, like I make an effort to watch it.
But yo, imagine the kids now. Like their parents got those IPTVs,
Yeah,
and all day long. That's all you see on TV.
they're watching
Right?
the
They don't
couple
get to watch
show. This
And they
and
got
that,
like that,
everything.
but the kids benefit because they get the 24-hour Paw Patrol channel.
No, man. I go to my parents' house. My kids running around. Yo, my parents still got on that Indian news channel. How are you able to do this and I can't?
I don't know, man. Like my kids go to my parents' house and they give my parents a remote to like put Coco Melon on.
Yeah.
That is the single worst show.
What,
Coco
Coco
Melon.
Melon?
It's
Don't-
psychotic.
Don't you admire it a little bit? I started admiring some of this
Anything
stuff.
with Baby Shark. Baby Shark, I'm done.
I like
I-
Baby Shark.
I admire this stuff just because I'm like, look, man, these guys came up with they're spending how much on the animation? The songs suck. They're like same
Yo,
tune
but
for
they're
every
making
song.
money.
They get 2-3 million views on YouTube. I'm like, they picked up the money crack. They know the key to success. I'm telling you, if you want to be successful, if you want money, pull together enough money, make a Punjabi version of Coco Melon, and just blast it on YouTube. It'll be on repeat nonstop in one of the biggest populations in the world. I feel like
I know a certain segment of Six, let's say, like very right wing or very strict Maryadna guys. Actually, I'll just say that they're coming out with their own cartoon because they don't like what's portrayed in mainstream cartoons. They want a very
What's mainstream cartoons?
siloed view of Sikhi.
I mean, I wouldn't be
creating cartoons.
against it, but if it's not entertaining, it's not entertaining.
Yeah,
so
if
if,
it's-
it-
But
boring, it's
they
boring.
might tap into it, right?
if they get it, they get it. But like I've seen,
Wasn't there a bunch of Sikh animation movies that just came out? Aren't they? I haven't seen them myself, but aren't
they
they?
were really popular. People really liked them. Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
were well done. And I'm not sure. I think they got pirated, so they didn't make any money off that ad revenue.
that sucks.
Right? Like people
But
reposted.
that's our community, right? That's our community.
That's the
Also-
internet, man.
That's the internet, but it shows like the lack of foresight of these
It's our
production
community.
companies.
Come on.
No, the Asians are just as bad. Like the Chinese community.
Yeah, we used to self-hater, Robbie.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
a billion people.
They're
How many Punjabis are we? What, 100 million? I don't
hold
even know.
on. Aren't you?
How
You're
many
telling me you
Punjabis
don't?
are there? Well, how many do we have? I don't know.
Maybe like 30 million.
Yeah, Punjabis aren't in the billions.
I didn't say billion. I said million.
We probably got more than Canada.
What about the population of Canada?
Yeah,
What is
okay,
the
so that's about
population of
right.
Sikh diaspora, I wonder.
But all I'm saying is you take Cocomelon, a very broad concept, just sing the songs, make Punjabi equivalents of them.
They
Put
don't even make
the-
sense. They don't even make sense. They don't even rhyme.
Yeah, they don't have
they're
to.
stupid song.
So you exactly, you just got to get a nice, colorful 3D artist from Sheridan College to hook up the animations, put it on loop. You're good, man. That's $1 million idea right there. Get it done.
Get it done, Shinda. Why are we doing a
Yeah.
podcast?
I don't know. I always have these ideas. I know that they're going to be successful, but I have zero drive to execute.
Well, the Dougler executed on something. Who wants to introduce?
Ooh, Brampton's
Doubler.
getting its med school.
Yeah. So, I know.
So,
like,
give me
it's
some
like-
context because
yeah, like-
I haven't read any of the news.
is this a big deal?
So it's a partnership with Ryerson University. Ryerson University is opening up a med school in Brampton. Ryerson, a very popular school amongst Bramptonians.
Yeah,
Um,
right. Hi.
And so, yeah, 70 seats. I think it's dope. I know there's
Well,
already
what's
like a
the,
difficulty for med students in general in Canada.
What's the timeline?
2025.
That's
When it starts. Okay, so 70
That's ambitious.
seats for undergrad. That means like undergrad to med school. There's 70 students they're gonna take.
Now you're getting too technical. I just saw the 70 the number
Yeah,
70.
I just understand that, right? Like,
What do you mean?
It said 70 undergraduate seats, and I didn't understand what that meant.
But that's not for med school, right?
That can't be. It has to be graduate.
Yeah, like med school in general is a graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
thought it
don't
was
understand.
70 med students learning medicine can jump in is my takeaway. But
Well,
I-
whatever it is, if they've announced it, they've obviously that's the goal, right? So
yeah,
So
and I mean,
good on
Ryerson's
them.
putting up a lot of the money. And I think the government's just helping them out with the paperwork. Really,
Was there any insight on the location within the city?
downtown Brampton.
So I'm reading this. Maybe Robbie can make us understand this. Forge said Ontario medical schools will add 160 undergraduate seats, 295 postgraduate seats, with Brampton Ryerson School set to receive 80 undergraduate seats and 95 postgrad positions. What does that mean? 80 undergraduate seats and 95 postgrad positions.
I don't know because it's not the thing I went through. So unless they're considering med school undergrad, I don't know.
Med school is an undergrad now. That's kind of fucked.
Well, a JD is considered an undergrad degree too, even though we're pretty
What?
much doctors.
Maybe that's the way they're thinking of it, right?
Really? I thought you guys are post.
It's
Postgrad.
graduate studies. It's graduate studies.
It just shows anyone can be a lawyer, I guess.
Well, fuck you.
I
I swear again.
I low key have had
I'm
this
sorry,
thing in the
Mom.
back of my head where I want to go and do my MCAT and just compare it to all the lawyers I know. What they're not MCAT, LSAT.
Well, LSAT. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the first one.
I just want to. I'm like,
You
yo,
show-
what's your LSAT score? I want to see if I can
So
top
you
it.
showed up for the wrong
You
test.
wouldn't even get your name right. You fucking get the bubbles wrong. You circle the wrong thing.
I 100% think I could have a higher LSAT score than you.
Oh, yo, we should do that.
Actually, you know what I really want to do? I want an IELTS test. I want to do an IELTS test.
IELTS too, yeah.
I want to compare that to everyone else around me just to see
Well, should
where
we
we
do
actually
one?
rank.
Should we just do one?
I heard it takes like 4 hours.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll do it one time.
Okay.
I
I'll pay the guy like everybody else does.
I've been spending my weekends in school. I did my gun classes recently.
Oh, how was that?
Yo, gotta do it, man.
Yeah, I looked into it, so I am gonna do it.
I didn't get
Good.
past the Google search.
I'll send you
I
guys
like-
the link.
I like searched it. I didn't know if I needed to go to Markham or there's this one other one. And I'm like,
Etobicoke, man.
yeah. Then I just kind of felt overwhelmed by
Oh, yeah.
information, and then I decided I'm just gonna write my LSAT instead. Just that's how I got to do
I
it.
was,
Randy's trying
I-
to be the Desi Joe Rogan, right? Get his gun license.
I'm gonna start hunting. I'm gonna have friends that hunt. I'm gonna talk about it for sure. I'll talk about my.
You know
kills.
what's so like oddly enough, Ranjit's one of the few friends I know who's doing it now. Most of them done it years ago. Like out of my friend circle, a lot of them have their gun license.
Are they hunters?
No, they just like guns.
Oh,
Shastar
I see,
Tari.
that's the one I don't understand. Why would you want a gun license?
So that you can legally own guns.
To do what with?
I mean,
I mean,
I don't know.
shoot
I'm one of the
for
few people I know who
recreation.
doesn't have
Like the
it.
power.
This was on the
Like power.
test. This is on the test. You can have people or Canadians have guns for hunting, for recreation, and for gun collection or gun collecting. Those are all valid, or for their job.
Look at the smile on this guy's face. Look how he's talking about. He's so
Dude.
happy.
I killed that test. I thought it was gonna fail. The guy's like in about 7 years and about let's say 2,000 odd tests. I probably only failed like 7 people.
So you didn't want to be the
Yo,
eighth guy.
Shinda, you
I
gotta
don't
go.
want to be 7. I don't want to be 8. I don't want to be 8. I was so
Like,
scared.
I want to learn how to properly shoot a gun. Like, I've gone to shooting ranges in America. Like, anytime we go, it's like, yeah, let's go to the gun range. But it'd be dope to just be able to go to a gun range here, and I feel like it's a good skill to have.
Yeah,
you don't
I
need
can
to be
agree- I can agree with that.
you don't need to buy a gun or be a gun nut. But knowing how to shoot a gun, I think it's a skill that all humans should have. All adults
Yeah.
should know how to shoot a gun, and they should have fairly good aim with it. It shouldn't just be pull a trigger and hope for the best type thing. You should have a fair bit of confidence that you're going to hit what you're trying to hit if you ever needed to pull a trigger.
Yeah, you shouldn't be shooting with your eyes closed.
Yeah. Loki, I'd go hunting too. I think I've talked about this with some people, and it's opened up some controversy because I'm a veg.
Yeah, aren't you vegetarian?
Yeah, but I'm not against hunting, right? Like I'm one of those people who's veg, but it's kind of like I adopted it because I was told I need to be vegetarian. But I'm at the same
What?
time not against meat.
Oh man, we're gonna open a bad door here, aren't we?
So you've been doing.
No, I
what
feel
you're
like
saying
I'm-
is you've been a vegetarian for so long that now you just resigned to be staying a vegetarian, but you don't
100%.
actually believe in the principle of it.
I just I don't think Sikhs in general were historically vegetarian,
No, hell no, we weren't.
right? So
He's doing his lawyer thing, Shinda. Watch out.
no. So from that perspective, like I'm not one of those people who go like, look, historically we've been vegetarian. Like I'm like, no, based on everything I've heard and seen, I think meat was a prevalent part of, and hunting was a prevalent part of our culture. And I'm like, but I ended up taking Amrit from a sect of Sikhi, which is pro-vegetarian. So I'm not really trying to change that or tell them that they're wrong.
But you
But-
kind of just did.
No, I accept the other side, I think, of the truth more than I do. And even they, like, people in Dixal and stuff, aren't 100% saying Sikhs never eat meat. They just say the Marada that we follow doesn't eat meat.
Well, who are those dudes that cut the goat and stuff? Don't the Hungs do that?
Yeah,
I love
I love it.
how Robbie's so, like, who are those dudes?
Yeah. You're right though. It is.
It is the nuns.
They
Yeah,
they
and-
do chatka, yeah.
That,
But they're the only ones that still practice it, really.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and, like, if I was
I
at,
mean,
like,
aren't they essentially doing kind of what hunters do? They respect the animal,
100%.
yeah,
right? And so they're taking what they need, and they're not killing in excess. And I'm okay with that. I mean, that's better than us going and getting like a McChicken. Like that's I can agree where being a vegetarian is better than that.
Yeah,
But-
even when you do these hunting courses, they teach you where to shoot and how to shoot and what gauge or caliber of bullet you should be using in order to minimize the suffering of the animal.
Mm.
So they show you, for example, deer, moose, like where their heart is and what angle you need to get and what you should be shooting at, and like what kind of bullet you should be using too. Because something too small, it's just gonna hurt them, and they're not
Yeah,
gonna
it's gonna
die,
be
or they may
agonizing.
not die, and it might be agonizing,
Yeah.
right? So they really teach that, instill that principle in you, and that's the same. Not to get too religious, but same principle of Chatka. Even other religions have their own way of killing or slaughtering animals, but the concept is they all want to be as humane as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pro hunting. I'm not pro excess, but honestly, I'd go hunting. I think I'd probably get lectured and talked out of it a bunch, but I think I'd want to learn how to hunt.
Yeah, if they're willing to lecture you, they should come on and lecture us too. I'd be down to listen.
Would you? I personally tune out a lot of these lectures, but
I haven't been lectured in a while. I keep giving lectures. I'd like to be lectured once in a while.
no, I think hunting's a good skill. I think everyone should know how to hunt. Well, screw hunting. I think everyone should know how to properly shoot and handle a firearm, if anything.
Yeah.
My mom grew up in a house full of guns, and then she brought it up a few times over the last few years. She's like, why don't you have a gun? Moms have, like, my son or my kid is the most handsome kid in the world and can do no wrong. But she kind of gave me that look, like, you're not a man.
She was wrong about that initial thought.
You're
That's
not a
what
man.
made me-
Like, what kind of man doesn't have a gun? Like, that's the kind of look that I got. So that was really, I always wanted to go to do my gun course, but like when my mom's calling me out, that was the kick in the pants that I needed to
Your
do
mom
it.
told you to get it?
Oh, she was like looking at
His
me weird that I
mom called
didn't
him a
have one.
pussy for not having a gun.
Pretty much.
No, but she like flat out said you need to get your gun license.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, 100%. She was like repetitively.
So hold on, what's it take? Like, what's the program? What's the?
So the program is
timeline?
like, is this you can get two types of guns, restricted and unrestricted. You can't get prohibited, but each is its own day. The course works like this: you have to do a certain number of hours in class, so you can't show up late. If you do a certain number of
I
hours,
already know I'm gonna mess up because I show up late for everything.
you do a multiple choice test of like 50 questions, and then you do a practical exam as well. So while you're going through slides and they're talking to you about like classes, or sorry, different things about guns, about how to handle them, what bullets you're supposed to use, what 9mm means, what 10 gauge, 12 gauge means. They also have you handling them and learn how to handle them safely. So that's a practical test. So you do the written test, you do the practical test, you pass, you go home, and then 8 months later you get your certificate. Sorry, 8 weeks later you get your certificate in the mail. You send that certificate to the RCMP, and then 7-8 months later you get your license.
So
Did you do the course online?
You can do hunting online, but the restricted and non-restricted you have to do in class.
Bro,
would
I'm
you-
totally
would-
not making it in time for these classes.
That's why people go with friends.
would you say the test was thorough enough and challenging enough to ensure that it's not anyone getting the license? Like it's an actual test?
The test is thorough enough that if your English is your first language and you paid attention in class and you weren't on your phone, then yeah, you'll
It
pass.
sounds really
and
boring.
if you were distracted and you don't give a shit, then you'll fail.
Is there any kind of psychological analysis that you have to do at all? Or like a
Mm.
test or a baseline or anything? Personality assessment?
No, there is a module, and then the application itself asks you questions of that vein, asking, have you had thoughts of like killing yourself or anything like that, or have you lost your job recently? Have you got divorced recently?
Oh, so
right?
they, okay,
Things
so
like
they
that.
do go. Oh, okay,
The
they do
application
go.
itself asks you that.
But you
right?
know, answering the truth on those, even if they.
Well, if you're married, you have to get your spouse's consent, and if you are married,
I feel like that might be difficult.
if you got
Okay.
divorced or separated within the last 2 years, you have to get your ex's consent to get the license.
So make sure you're on
That's
good terms.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Could
so
you just
cool.
forge their signature, or do they get like a phone call?
they can apparently the RCMP is pretty thorough in following up with your 2 references and your spouse. So I imagine they're probably like thorough with contacting your ex-spouse.
Imagine you go through all that and the last minute, yeah, your references didn't pan out. It's like, what?
I think that my reference would legit say, "Don't give this guy a gun."
Yeah. There's
They're
a lot
like,
of
he
people I
can't
know that
shoot
have
straight, man. Don't trust this guy. I have a friend. He always comments. He's like the one person that I would petition against if I found out that he was doing a gun exam is you. I was like, why?
Hold on.
What about me? They're like,
How in the hell do you play all these video games and you can't shoot straight? I just don't
I
get
mean,
that.
I don't shoot straight in these games either. I think people would argue that, the games are more of an example.
Hold on. Are you the sniper in the video game? Because that's hilarious. That's
No, I'm the old guy who gets mocked and who the young guys just pity for still playing video games. They're like, yeah, we'll play with you, fine.
You're like Blue in old school.
Yeah.
You're my boy Blue.
Yeah. I mean, no. But like honestly, I'm so ignorant about firearms and stuff. Like I got like rap and COD is my baseline of what I know about weapons. Like I know
It's pretty intensive. It's still a lot of knowledge.
like what a Desert Eagle,
Yeah.
I got a Deagle, bro. Like I feel like if I were to buy guns, it would be totally for the pop culture. Like, I got a Desert Eagle. And then someone's like, buddy, why don't you get a Renetti 9mm or whatever, right? Like I would
But like, do you have a concept or an idea of like what type of shotgun you need for like hunting or
a 12
target
gauge.
shooting? Why?
No, I
Thought
don't
off
know.
all day.
Exactly.
Yes. I just know what rap has taught me, right? Like I got 2 shotties by the shower in case you want to shoot me while I'm shitting. That's my understanding of a shotgun. Or when you play COD, the shotgun is what annoys people in Rebirth, right? That's the extent of gun knowledge. Like when I go to a gun range in America, there's actually a funny video of me from like 12 years ago where I'm like doing this whole like little gangster rant and then forgetting to take the safety off my gun.
And you're shooting an Osama bin Laden target, which looks just like you, and going there, like what the fuck is going on?
We figured if we pick the Osama bin Laden target, they'll kind of like sympathize with like, oh, they're not with that guy, but they didn't know the difference.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I hated gun ranges. I
love
always felt
gun
like there could be
ranges.
any psycho that just walks through and just like caps everybody. There's just this uneasy feeling in America about it, right? That's
I
just me,
didn't
though.
realize how easy it was to actually, like, when people talked about it and then actually doing it. I'm like, we literally walked in, bought a bunch of bullets.
Exactly.
They handed us the gun and we walked in and just shot things. And I remember a bunch of friends were like, yo, man. And we were like, on the second time we went with a bunch of friends who at that time were younger. We were scolding them because the way they were holding their guns and like kind of, turning around and like not pointing the gun at the ground. Or like the gun would be at you. You're like, yo, what the fuck? Don't point this at people when you're talking to them.
Live gun.
Like, and it was stupid because they weren't like trying to shoot like, haha, I'm aiming a gun at you. It was like they just turned around like with the gun in there. I'm like, look, you gotta make sure it's pointed that way the whole time. Don't friggin' turn around and try to ask me a question. But I don't know. I want to do my thing.
That happens to I'm the idiot who let off his gun in the safe area and paintballing. Remember you go back in the safe area? Put it back. Safety. They're all yelling at me. I was like, what happened?
Shit happens.
Paintball was such a big part of us, like my early teenage to like when we were able to drive. Like I used to go to Wasaga 2-3 times a summer. Right?
Yo, I miss it. I miss paintballing.
I've done that in a while.
I haven't done it in a while. I did it I think 4 years ago, I think. And I ran out of breath. Like it was such a stamina induced like physical activity that I ran out of breath.
Yeah.
So I was out of breath the first game. Like I was about to yak. I was like, I haven't moved this hard in a long time.
Yeah,
like I just know I'm not in shape.
30 to go up there in Wasaga and just have the whole thing to ourselves.
Yo, there's one on. I always see signs on King Road in Torbram.
Yeah, Punjabis own it. One of my buddy's cousins owns that one. And I was talking to him one night. He's like, "Yo, come by anytime. It's fun. We could just shoot around."
Maybe they can sponsor us.
Yeah,
I don't know that well, but
let's get sponsors. We'll wear t-shirts.
Yeah,
paintball. Yeah, they're all interested in our,
remember that? Sergeant Splatters? I remember going there.
Sergeant Splatters is... Yeah, that whole thing disappeared, didn't it?
I don't know.
It became a Gurdwara.
Huh?
It became a Gurdwara.
No, that's a different one.
That was go-kart. That was F1
go-kart. That was a go-kart.
There's paintball there too, no?
Yeah,
I thought that was a banquet hall. It was a banquet hall. It's a banquet hall that turned into the...
It's the same facility. I mean, the Gurdwara and the banquet hall share a wall. Yeah. But yeah, paintball has kind of dropped off. I don't know if it's still big with kids these days, or if they've gone all digital. But
there was one time we went and we went for my cousin's birthday. So we're all, when you do the group and then like if you don't have enough numbers, they'll like try to add people to your group.
Yeah.
We're all standing there, but you have your masks on, right? So no one can see who's talking. And there's some like obviously he had to be a Gora. He comes out in one of those sniper suits. You see those things with like the grass on them and stuff.
Oh my
And
God.
bro's like, "Yo, can I join your group?" And you just hear me at top of my lungs go, "Fuck no!" So, I looked at, he's looking at who said this. And I was like, "Yo, you ain't joining our group." I hate those guys because they're the worst, right? They just
You're like
tap everybody. It's not
You're like,
fun.
why are you sweating at paintball?
Yeah,
You're like
seriously.
you're too try hard for this shit. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Um,
no, man. The man had a sniper suit on, right? Like, come on. Like,
I
who buys? What
remember.
adult man goes and buys that for paintballing in the summer?
All of a sudden he misses out of ammo. He pulls out a knife.
Yo,
He's
they
got,
had paintball grenades and everything,
they
man.
have
It was
paintball
crazy.
grenades. It's basically water balloons, paintball grenades. But yo,
It
we need
doesn't
to do
matter.
this.
It's the fact that you're psychotic enough to go get that is that you clearly want to hurt people,
You know what's messed
right?
up
So
is
I'm like, I don't want to play with you. I'm
what's
good.
messed up is I go to like some comic cons and stuff. There's always these paintball booths where they're selling like a 50 pack, and I'm always like, yeah, I'll buy one, and I always pay like $200 to get the 50 pack, because I'm like I do the mental math, like that's a lot cheaper than everyone paying $30
Yeah.
themselves. I'll take a group of 50. Everyone will pay me like the $10 that I just saved, and we'll run a party. And I bought them 3 times. Every single time they expired before I use them.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because every summer everyone's busy, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I forget, and then I remember next summer when I was like, we should go to. I'm like, yo, I had this paintball pack. Look it up. Oh, it's expired last summer. Fuck. And
Yeah, we
then
should do it
Yeah,
this
no
year.
shit.
they'll
We should
go.
sponsor. We should sponsor a tournament with your $10 coupon.
It's expired, man. I gotta go find new ones.
We should
Yo,
find
I'm
some
so
shitty
down.
prize and give it to the winner.
I'm so actually. You know what I'm really surprised is when we went to a saga, the few like there were fights, like people getting heated, but they didn't like. And I always told the groups that I went with, like, look, people are gonna cheat, and people are gonna say they didn't get hit when they got hit. So no complaining about that.
I'm gonna just put it
Just
out
hit
there.
them
that-
more times.
I'm gonna put it out there. The Singhs were the biggest cheaters I ever went with. Every single time.
All I'm saying is, look,
Take it or leave
That-
it. I don't care.
Look, whatever.
Like, oh, I hit my bug. I didn't feel
Oh,
that.
I didn't. They're wiping it off. No, man, it didn't hit me. It didn't hit me.
I always
Bro,
told people on my
Bro,
team, like,
be a
look,
Shahid. Lie down, yo. You're done.
I always told people I was with, I'm like, don't wait for them to put their hand up. Keep shooting them. If it bursts, don't be like, well, it burst. I stopped shooting. I'm like, keep shooting them. Anyone. Until they raise their hand and scream. I'm like, the scream is a sign that it hurts. Shoot them until it hurts. It has to, like, that's when you'll know that
Yo,
they'll
but why was everybody cheating? I never understood that.
people are competitive,
game, bro.
man.
Yeah, people are competitive, and if you can get away
People
with
cheat in
it,
everything.
yeah,
People cheat in
steroids,
golf.
Robbie. Steroids. Come
People
on.
cheat at golf. The fact that I'll go golfing with friends and they'll like deduct a number or like change the numbers up a little
Yo,
bit.
I don't. Sometimes I don't keep track. I just make up the number. I'm like, yeah, give me the max. I'm good. Or give me a high number. I'm good.
That's what
That's probably
I'm
much
like.
more than that. So
I'm like, look, man, there's no point in keeping track. And sometimes people would want to track my number. I'm like, look, there's no point in tracking my score because it's gonna hit the max, especially on the 5. I was always doing 10 on the 5s. But yeah,
So-
we need to bring back fucking paintballs.
Yeah, and
I
talking
think
about
Randy
keeping
should
score,
organize it. Hey, you know, he's the rich. He's the 1%er. He should sponsor all of
Relax.
us. Rent the bus.
Relax, doctor.
What?
Doctor.
No. I'm just
I'm just a doctor.
I'm just a doctor. Let me. This is when Robbie's like, well, I went. I'm not.
I'm not a real doctor. I'm just
he's
Yeah,
not comic.
I just get paid by taxpayer money. I'm not a real doctor.
To be
your money. So I'm a hard worker, my friend. I don't rip people off for doing
You're-
forms.
you live in that hip Kool-Aid, okay?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm actually helping and providing sight. You, my
All
friend,
right.
are just ripping people
I
off.
liberate people. I live.
Yeah,
Talking about
your
liberations.
autofill forms.
What's going on in Ukraine these days? Have you guys been keeping up with week? We're in week 4. Or week. Yeah, it's week 4, right?
Yeah,
week 3?
man. No, we're for week 4. Robbie, do you have anything to add before like go into fucking Ukraine and what's
Oh,
going on
about
there?
you? Oh, that'll go on for
Alright.
the weeks, brother.
All right, you're basically the Putin of the podcast. Anyways,
100.
so yeah, week 4. It looks like there's some negotiations happening between Ukraine and Russia. There's some positive signs. People are saying it's just a smokescreen because sanctions are hitting Russia now, and they're now coming around to being a little bit more chilled out and having more reasonable demands. to that end, like Zelensky's saying or starting to have talking points of, yeah, fine, we won't join NATO. And there might even be discussion of, the eastern parts that have been, in dispute for quite some time. They have separatist groups. Maybe Ukraine will cede those to Russia, maybe not, but like there's something on the table. But meanwhile, man, like the bombardment and the attacks won't stop. Russia's lost a lot of people, a lot of soldiers, and their bombing is getting a little bit more indiscriminate. You see a lot more, civilian casualties now. Like just yesterday, they bombed a theater with 1,000 civilians that were housed in it, and in front and at the back of the theater, with large stones, they wrote children. Okay, so any airplane looking from sky high would be able to see the word children at the front and at the very back of the building. But yeah, that's the building that got struck. They have no idea what the casualties are because it's in the city of Mariupol. Oh, we lost Robbie. I'll just wait for him to come back. Rude ass Robbie.
But one thing that I saw that was coming out was there was this one Ukrainian channel, and the broadcaster on it was talking about killing Russian children. And he was like, yes, I don't know if you saw.
Well, I've heard rhetoric like that, but the rhetoric is usually like, imagine this is what's happening to us and our children. Imagine if we did this to
No. This guy was very like, I read the translations. That's the best I could do is read these translations that I posted, and there was no like cutting it or adding any like trying to contextualize it. He was very much saying, if you kill the adults, the children are going to come for you. Make sure you kill the Russian children so that they don't come for you. And he's like, I'm going to go after the Russian children. And people on Twitter kind of, when I say people on Twitter, I'm talking about people who are very much pro-Ukraine. Like the hardcore liberals, the white liberal, were like, yeah, okay, but that person doesn't really represent all the views of the Ukrainian people. It's like getting like the rebel news guy talking and using that against them. And I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't know what that channel's weight in Ukrainian media is, because we're very well could be like one of these right-wing nut jobs in their world that's just saying this shit, who has zero influence. Still a fucked up thing to say.
But I'm not in the shoes of someone who's like possibly his family got murked by a bomb last week, right? So he could just be in the mindset of like, fuck all Russians, any Russian's a bad Russian.
Which is another thing, right, that I was thinking is you eventually get these people, and I think it's going to be true for a lot of society in general, who are going to have so little sympathy for Russia.
Yeah.
And they dehumanize all aspects of Russian.
Mm.
Like they don't, and I think that's one of those real weird casualties of war, is we end up dehumanizing people just based on, well, you were in that country, so fuck you. Even though like people in Russia are protesting and trying to like anti-war.
Yeah, was a TV producer. While the live broadcast was going on Russian TV, she held up a sign saying "No war."
This is all propaganda that you're hearing here at this station. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was, and then she, I think it was 14 hours of interrogation without a lawyer, and
straight to the gulag, man.
Well, I think she still obviously has to go for trial, but as soon as she got out, she did an interview with BBC, and she goes, "I wanted to let the world know all Russians don't think the same." So I mean, tying into your point, yeah, I mean, all Russians do look evil, but I mean, I don't think that's the sentiment of that country. If they were fed the real pictures and images of what Putin was doing, would they stand by him?
I'm gonna put a couple of questions out to you guys. What do you think of the West's response? Is it good? Is it inadequate? Do we need to do less? Do we need to do more?
I've been thinking. Go ahead, Robbie.
Go ahead. No, you go. Go.
I've been thinking that the West. I don't know if we talked about. If I said this, if I'm repeating myself here, but it was very much like the West is standing behind Ukraine while Ukraine's getting bruck, and we're not stepping in, knowing that we eventually are. Like we keep picking him up every time he gets knocked down. Like, nah, man, you got this. We're gonna fucking knock him if this shit gets too far. Don't worry, they're not. I think the West is really soft and not supporting its boy. Either say Ukraine's you're with Ukraine and
Yeah. So my
do you think we're doing enough? You think Shinda you think we're doing enough?
From the point of view that we are as a system pro Ukraine, I don't think we're supporting our ally. If we consider them an ally, we're not doing enough.
So
Okay, so
yeah, I mean,
go Robbie.
go ahead, go ahead. No, I was just saying on his point, saying that they're just kind of left as the front line. Kind of agree with that. They are the front line, and NATO's standing behind it. But what are they really going to do? It's like if they do it, then it's all out war, right? And that's the line that they have to cross. But I was reading today. There's been drones flying into NATO airspace, with no response. So it's like, what's the next step now, right? So, um, I mean, we're saying, are they doing enough? Okay, if they're providing all the weaponry and everything they can, if Ukraine still needs more, it means war. And is the West ready to do that? That's the question, right?
So I mean, then again, back to the question, like, I guess we're all saying that it's not enough. Then what is enough? Like, what is
War.
needed? What can we do?
I mean,
Straight up war.
it would be straight up war. What else could you do? I mean, the sanctions, obviously are doing the thing, but there's countries like India that just are still buying, right? So, what else could you do to Russia at this point? What do you do now, right?
Well, one of the big sentiments I've been reading and seeing a lot is, why does NATO isn't like the whole encompassing world, right? It's North America a bit and some European countries, like
North
South
Atlantic,
America. Like South America is not there. A lot of African countries aren't there. Latin America is not there. And I've been seeing that those governments are having a bit of a, why is America dictating what countries can and can't do so much?
Yeah.
And why are they like fronting? And
but isn't that the U.S. foreign policy for the last
and I
100
think
years? America telling everybody what they can and
yeah,
can't do.
like the police of the world is what a lot of people have been calling it. And I think the world is getting tired of America telling everyone this is what you need to be doing. And I think they're kind of like, look, we might not agree with what Russia's doing, but fuck you. Who are you to like police us and police the world and demand that we all step in when you are all in it for your own resources and your own economy? And I think we're seeing that with like Saudi Arabia was just like, you know what, America, you've been really stiff-handing us or strong-arming us a lot.
Yes.
Hey, China,
Saudi Arabia and China, the beacons of humanity.
Yeah, right. They're like
are talking reason.
Yeah, I mean, they're not talking reason, but they're like, why are we taking shit from America on human rights?
Saudi Arabia just like beheaded
81
60 people or like the
81
other
people. Yeah, so
yeah.
What was that?
Saudi in one day.
Saudi Arabia, 81 people pop. And no, like, it's not a thing about not calling this out, but the fact that America's always kind of looked the other way because they get that free cheap oil from them. Or not cheap oil, but they have those oil agreements with Saudi Arabia.
The companies are there, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Saudi Arabia is just like, well, we let you talk shit about us, but we don't want you. I don't know. I just get the sense that the world outside of NATO is getting real tired with NATO. And
well, NATO is not just USA, right?
No, for sure. But USA is a big part of NATO.
That's fine. But they could just be getting sick of the West or the Western policies.
But we as Canada need NATO because without it,
yeah. I mean, look, one thing I was thinking about.
Let's not bash them too much, right? There's a reason working together as a group is better than.
I mean, look, we need those satellite defense rocket protection shields that we got going. Because look, we start beefing with Russia. Russia starts throwing nukes and rockets at us. It'd be nice to have like that defense shield that we keep hearing about, the Northern Alliance Defense Shield or whatever it's called. NORADs, yeah, whatever. NORAD, yeah, it'd be cool to have that come in effect. But at the same time, I don't think we're doing enough. I feel like, look, either we're with Ukraine and Ukraine's something, we support Ukraine, in which case, at the very least, we should have peacekeepers there to like back, we're sending in peacekeepers to make sure that you're not indiscriminately killing these.
But, I mean, the way I see it, in reality, there's nothing Ukraine's going to give the West for them to go in. If they're not going to get nothing from winning Ukraine. So if it gets obliterated, which is, it looks like that's what Putin's trying to do, the West hasn't lost anything.
I
I
mean,
think they
that's,
have. No, they for sure
What does the
fucking
West?
have.
No. If the NATO's borders are still where they're at,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Nothing's really changed in their chess game. Yeah,
Oh, well, no. What are you talking about? They
why?
fucking this Ukraine has become such a big deal for so many third parties that are watching what Russia and Ukraine are doing. For on the Russia side, you have China, for example.
No.
They,
For
no,
them,
no,
for them. I'm just saying for the West in terms of like,
fine. I'll start off with the
yeah,
West.
start with the
I'll
West.
start
Like,
off.
I
I'll start with the
understand
West.
for China.
I
Yeah,
disagree. I disagree with
yeah,
you, and this is why. On the West, if Ukraine falls,
yeah,
okay, it's a big fuck you to the face of the West.
yep.
Your sanctions don't mean shit. Your positions don't mean shit. You're actually weak and powerless. This is the third country in 3 decades that Russia's been able to
So
take
calling a
over,
bluff, basically. Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
basically an effective
calling a bluff.
toothless like organization. So no one needs to take you seriously. So this war and what's happening there is a statement for for the West and for NATO particularly, and conversely, like on the other end, you have Russia who's talking a big game like they're doing their thing. They're the pawn in this, right? But the countries that have aligned with Russia's worldview of like fuck USA and
Yeah.
fuck the West, so namely China, right? They're watching nervously, man, because they for sure, haven't gone ahead and backed Russia. They don't condemn it either, and they're kind of like they might seem like they're being neutral, but they're not really calling Russia the aggressor. They're saying we respect Russia's sovereignty, right?
Yeah.
They're really careful with their words, but you got to read into that because it's fucking China. They can't risk looking like they've backed a loser.
I get what you said.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's a bad show of face just as much for them too, but I think everybody is kind of fucking shocked at how ineffective Russia's military has been. So it might just be,
That's what I mean.
maybe
Just
like a key
apply.
battle. Russia wins a key
Yeah.
battle, wins a key city, and then all of a sudden people are like, all right, let's broker a truce, let's broker a peace, right? But everybody has, money in the game now. Everybody's got
No.
something to
I
risk.
agree with that. What I mean is, let's say they just keep pumping in weapons, and that's the game. That's where the battle's being had. But in terms of their strategy, they're not losing their own positions, is what I'm saying. Right
Yeah,
now, strategically, things are changing. The world changes. The maps change. Agree with that. But for them, more of a reason to build up,
oh,
right? More of a
yeah.
maybe there's a
Like
benefit
Germany
of
building up, right? Like, which is crazy
that's what
because
I
the
mean.
world
Like
became with
it's a
Germany
change.
building up now. But like, look at what they've done in the past. I want to bring this up with you guys. So we talked about what more the West can do in that straight out war. But I mean, the answer is obvious. I'm hoping you guys give it to me. Why aren't we going to war? Like, what's the real fear?
I
Nuclear war,
smell.
right?
I mean,
War.
is it? Like I would think with nukes, it's a zero sum game for everyone. There isn't
Right.
like the second a nuke comes out from Russia, American can just as
But
easily put nukes in there too. It's a zero sum game for everyone. I think
but
everyone recognizes that it's a zero sum game.
really though, because the only person who's talking about me launching nukes is fucking Putin, and everybody else is like, yo.
Yeah,
Like,
but
we
but
got
it's
to
the
be
same thing.
responsible.
But the
We got
same
to
thing
be
with India and
afraid.
Pakistan. Aren't they both nuclear?
Yeah.
And they're always talking about it. We're gonna nuke
No,
them
I
no,
down.
mean,
they
India
don't talk
accidentally
nukes.
friggin' launched a rocket at Pakistan last week. That was kind of wild.
Why not a nuke?
But you know what's crazy? I'll just get straight to the point that I'm trying to get at for a while now. Like Zelensky's been going around, fucking great speaker. This guy, like Parliament today, the U.S. He's like implement this no-fly zone, implement this no-fly zone. And the fear is that as soon as we get NATO planes in Ukrainian airspace and we take down Russian airplanes, that might trigger the madman in Moscow and he might launch a nuke or so. And then you've opened Pandora's box. What happens, right? So that's the fear. And because of that, everybody's watching, like, I'll fucking say it, like atrocities, right? There's fucking humanitarian atrocities that are happening. Like a whole city's being flattened in front of us in Morocco. 1,000 kids are buried underneath a theater, but because it's Morocco, we're not going to know what the exact fucking fatalities are and
Yeah.
what's going on there, right? So we're watching atrocities happen, and we don't do anything out of the fear of fucking nuclear war. Now let me change the narrative, or let me
What
change
about biowar,
the
biochemical
era.
war?
Or let me just change the era for a second. We all agree the Holocaust was a horrible thing, and what Hitler did was wrong, and we all say that if Hitler was around now, we would stop him, right? That's fair. We wouldn't have we wouldn't nipped it in the bud. What if Germany was a nuclear power? What if Hitler's Germany was a nuclear power, and he was rounding up Jews and killing them in concentration camps? When do we say fuck the nukes? Like, we're going in to stop them.
I mean, I've been saying, so that's why my stance on Russia is we should be in there if we're saying what they're doing is fucked up. Like, I'm not on the we should just stay back and wait.
It's a big game
Right?
of chicken, man. People's lives don't matter.
Like, I think even with like,
That's the way they don't. No one's looking at these governments are not looking at the Ukrainian losses and caring. You think we care because it's innocent lives. The government.
but like even with the Nazi in the West, it's vilification. Like that, the West likes narratives. They like a good guy and a bad guy. After the Nazis fell, how many Nazis did we bring over into NATO? That's one of those fucked up realizations I had when I was reading up on NATO's history. Is the number of ex-Nazi bigwigs that were brought over into NASA, brought over into different roles within NATO. You know what I mean? So the fact that we're bringing these guys in,
I don't understand. I didn't know that they were in NATO. Like, enlighten me.
and like when NATO was created and when the Nazi regime fell, right? I saw
This is the UN came around.
UN came around.
Oh, sorry,
Nazis-
UN was actually first row? No, second.
second.
Yeah,
But
second,
like
yeah.
when America's like cleaning up Germany and they're rebuilding and stuff, a lot of these Nazi, like the Nazi, when you say Nazis, don't think white supremacist think government employee, right? Like these bureaucrats, these ministers within that Nazi regime. The US is bringing some of these guys over and saying, hey, you were head of science in that Nazi government. You clearly understand something. Let's bring you over into the space program or this, that. Like they were recruiting the talent. They were recruiting talent
but
out of the Nazi party,
those
right?
People were Nazis though.
But like they were.
No, they were just the best of the best, and they're forced to do what they do, right?
But they were also Nazis. You know what I mean? If you're a liberal minister, and then the Liberal Party of Canada.
If I was living in Germany as a top scientist and someone put a gun to my head saying I'm going to kill your family if you don't do this job,
You're gonna do the job.
I'm going to do the job, and I'm just telling you, right? So,
but like you're now also the Minister of Science for the Nazi Party in Germany.
Wait, are you just appointed or put in that position, or did you run for that position? There's a very big difference, right?
like a school trustee.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think they were down with the Nazis. I mean, you're a Nazi. You can't like say, well, he didn't want to be a Nazi or
All
like
Russians,
broad strokes.
all Russians bad then?
all Russians within Putin's government.
No, but even his people. What if
But,
he forces his people to work in the war factories?
No, but what if he's like, you're going to be my new Minister of War, or you're going to be my Minister of...
No, fine.
You know what I mean?
That I agree with. The ministers and the people actively running the government, fine. But the scientists you're talking about,
but some of these guys that were brought over were top Nazi officials.
Some of them escaped. Some of them escaped as well because they didn't want to be there anymore, right? So...
Yeah, because their side just got obliterated and you want to...
Yeah, whatever. What I'm saying is that not everybody in Germany at that time was a Nazi.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But I'm saying the people that I'm referring to that were brought over, they were members of the Nazi party.
The party. Okay, I get what you're saying. So,
Right,
they were active members. Okay.
They were active members. They were... Whether or not they were forced to be members just because that was like the party to be into... or the place to be for survival. I don't know enough to...
No,
really
what you're
talk
saying
to
is they
that,
had an
right?
active hand to play in
In
what the party did. Okay.
And the party did. They upheld the values of the party.
Fair
And
enough.
we brought them over when it was beneficial to us, right? So the fact that we're always trying to paint a good guy, bad guy narrative is, I think we do that I think the media and the governments try to do that so that it's easy as a population to accept something. And sometimes when I pay attention to the war, I'm always paying attention to the way they're spilling the narrative in a way that people will be okay when we go in and drop bombs or get involved in a war. They're really trying to like coax us into like feeling okay with our direct involvement in it. And that's the narrative I always get when I'm watching the media and like listening to.
Everybody does that though, right? That's like typical propaganda. Even today I was listening to this correspondent from The Economist. He was talking about, he's based in China, a British dude, and he's talking about what's on the news in China as far as the Russian-Ukraine war goes and what footage they're showing. And he's like, yo, like they're not showing these buildings getting rocked with bombs or anything like that. They're showing troops happily moving in, like no real discussion. They're making it look like the Russians are just occupying parts of Ukraine and there's no real fighting. But that, you know, in response to that, the West and US are putting all these sanctions on Russia and supplying weapons and shit like that and being, you know, overly aggressive and being over the top in going against Russia for no reason, who have an otherwise, you know, more or less peaceful war with Ukraine, or a pretty soft war, right? So everybody has their fucking good and bad guy. It all depends on what script you're following. Every country does it. We're guilty of it. They're guilty of it. Everyone's guilty
and I
of
agree.
it.
It's just the easiest way to communicate a story to people. Generally, there's no one's looking for a million different Venn diagrams of good and bad, right? It's like good side, bad side. It's just how we, even when it comes to sports, right? Every city paints the other like there's this very, you're this team, you're that team, we're gonna hate each other. There's only two sides to an argument type situation. Yeah. But sometimes it becomes very not overwhelming, but we overdo it, I think.
So fair enough, but
just to get us to, as a public, to be like, you know what? And maybe I'm guilty of this because I'm saying, you know, we need to get in there. But my whole thinking is, if we say we're as mad about this as we want, stop trying to convince me that you want to go to war. Just go to war. That's what you want. You're just trying to wait for public opinion to really back that point. And I think Ukraine, when he was talking to Canadian Parliament and all the parties, they kind of realized that sentiment in Canada is they're across the board pro-Ukraine. Yeah. So they're going to be able to bring in Ukrainians without much hesitation from the population. So the Ukrainian immigration stuff, which I've always said, I'm like, look, I'm not against it. I'm just saying you guys need to be a little bit more even with everyone else too. Like,
did we get 100 Afghan Sikhs today?
Yeah, we did. 700. I think it was 700.
Really?
And we
got 100, and we're trying to get 700 more.
Yeah. Wow. So I mean, progress made, I guess, but yeah, I just want like some evenness across the board is my main. And I mean, I don't know if we'll ever get it, but
before we push on, right? I guess the one last question I really have, and like we just touched on it, is fine. You know, like I brought up the hypo with China, but now this Russian aggression in Ukraine, what's it gonna take for all voter bases in the West to be like, all right, fuck it, like fuck the nuclear war, like we have to go in now? What's it gonna take? What kind of losses? I mean, whole cities being gone,
but the world doesn't care for half.
Almost there. Like a couple of cities are almost leveled completely.
I think once Zelensky is taken, I don't know, like Zelensky has become such a poster boy right now, and the face of the war. And obviously, all presidents in a time of crisis will be, but I feel like when people have a real emotional attachment and tie with Zelensky, that governments or NATO governments, Western governments, will definitely try to keep him, protect him. So when he becomes a direct, like, it's inevitable that he's gonna die or get attacked. I think that's when governments kind of want to hop in because they don't want to.
Right, now we'll give Zelensky the no-fly zone that he was asking for.
Yeah, because look,
because like, he's buried under a building.
He's a martyr. He's a martyr now. Right?
If Zelensky was to become a martyr, it would hurt Western voter bases. People voting liberals, voting conservative. If it's a big enough issue that you're not helping Zelensky, we're not going to support you. I think that's when we see Western countries and democracies and all that
it could jump in. If Putin expands anymore. if he takes a multinational front on different countries, maybe Belarus joining him, like World War. I mean, then it might be that's enough. But right now, I don't think they're going in. I think they're just going to keep giving weapons. They're going to play the game.
That's
and
the
they're going to wait
sad
and
thing.
see.
That's the
You know,
sad thing. Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
and that's
And
the
they're getting
truth,
paid, right? They're not. I don't. These weapons aren't being sent for free. I'm sure there's a bill that's on layaway that
Yeah, it's going to come back after, right?
here's the credit.
But yeah,
He's getting the.
it'd be different if it was like there's oil in the country and it's exactly what they did with Iraq. But I mean, they're not going to get nothing.
Man. Reputation. There's a price on reputation as well.
Yeah, and I actually will concede that I do agree with that the way you painted it. But do we have the tenacity for war as a country?
As a public,
Are we that country that says, you know what, let's join up, let's go?
Well, you know what? Like with Germany spending 104 billion bucks on rearming now, I think Canada and their generals are thinking about protecting the Arctic.
Oh,
from
for
Russia.
sure.
That
He's
was always
already
the case.
doing flyovers already.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
know, I think our spending, the liberals are going to have that mandate to spend freely on fucking, the military. Other countries too, the Finns, Sweden, everybody. Like the Finns, I just learned about this today. The Finns actually have a mandatory military program for all males and voluntary for females. But fuck,
It's
maybe
small
that.
population.
Yeah, but maybe that's something like we're not a huge population.
I mean, I think about that all the
43
time.
million, man.
and this is where I become a hypocrite because I come across like libertarian and all that, but honestly, I'm not anti everyone should have some military training either. It goes right there
Yeah.
with my everyone should be trained in how to use a firearm.
But do we
You
have
saw
the
Ukraine.
but
Like
do
when you
we
saw
have the
Ukrainians
tenacity for war? Like even if we all had the training as a country, do you think not our ethics, but the way our moral makeup and the way our country's thought processes or
Sure, Robbie.
mindset, if you will, do you
Call
think
it
we're ready?
Call it a peacekeeping mission.
I mean, look, man. I think
Put a logo
Canadians.
in who has.
I'm not joking. I'm being serious.
Everybody be okay with it.
peacekeeping fucking mission. Be like their humanitarian crisis. Send in peacekeepers.
That could
Right?
that could work.
Kiev has still
No,
not
but
fallen.
if tomorrow,
Let me put it this way. Kiev is still not fallen. Okay.
Yeah.
Today, Trudeau says we're going to send in 5,000 Canadian troops
Yeah.
to man checkpoints around Kiev. They're not to engage with Russians unless their Russians
Shut up.
engage them. But they're just there to make sure that the flow of evacuees can safely get out of Kiev.
So let's one of them gets
Are
popped.
we
the cap.
buying that? Are we gonna? I think I'd fucking buy it.
So here's
I'd
the
buy
thing.
it.
Here's
I'm
my
buying that.
question. Here's my question to you guys. Let's say you do all that la di da blah blah blah, and it doesn't work. War is on the horizon. Are you ready in your current life to drop everything? Not go to war, but because any war is going to obviously in a country affect what you do in your daily life, the
Right,
comforts of your home. Are we ready as a country to take that on? I don't think we are.
I think
I
would
don't
be.
know, man. I think
People
so.
too worried about buying a house right now, let alone war, man. Like,
I mean,
Everything would be
your
on pause.
priorities change depending on the situation, right?
Yeah.
If
but
all of
yeah,
a
but
sudden
if you don't have
Canada's
if you don't have a general, yes, the Ukrainian community 100% is going to have, that, let's go. But do you think a majority of, let's say Toronto, is going to say, they're going to say, why are we going to war? They won't have the capacity to understand.
Let me give you this stat, Rob, because you've been on an island for a week. After the U.S., which country has sent, or what, out of the foreign legion that's in Ukraine right now, foreign fighters fighting on
Canada.
behalf of Ukraine? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But how-
Canada. Number 2.
No, they've sent. I'm just saying full-on war. Like
I mean-
sending troops and full-on war is two different things.
I think no, like Canada doesn't go to war; they send peacekeepers. That's always been.
It's always
That's
been
what I'm
what-
just
what we
saying.
do.
But if they go to war, if we're saying war is the inevitable and is the eventuality of this,
Well,
Are
then
we
to
ready?
get to that stage, man, like there's no hypo that leads us right to war. It'd be 1 or 2 stages of like peacekeepers, something else goes wrong, and then we go straight to all.
yeah.
out
But
war.
what's sad is we're not ready.
All right, I think
We're not ready,
I know.
right?
I think we we're just gonna have to call this for next week. See where we're at next week with it, because I feel like every time we're gonna come back to this, man, I feel like we've been talking about this for almost an hour and a half.
Right? Yeah.
Let's just switch it up real quick. You guys watching March Madness at all?
I'm gonna start to, yeah. Probably after the first round.
I got my bracket, so I'm kind of a little bit vested in it, but I have no idea who any of these teams are or who's playing. That's such a weird segue, right? How do we go fucking from war to March Madness?
Something exactly. That's exactly what I meant. We're not ready.
The context switching, right? Like we're not ready for, but you don't get ready for war. I don't think there's a prep up for war. You go from watching March Madness to
my last point is
it.
we're just a lot of people are very comfortable, and it's uncomfortable to think the prospect of your life kind of being turned 180 if in a notion that you don't really believe. That's all I'm saying. Right or wrong.
Yeah, so Gonzaga, what are you guys thinking about them? Kansas City? Who you guys got?
Yeah, like I said, I don't really follow. No. I'm not gonna go back to.
You're not
Don't go back. I'm sorry.
I'll wait a week. I'm not a stubborn doctor.
Or a lawyer who just repeats the same thing over and over again.
And what you guys think about DeAndre Jordan signing with the Raiders?
You did it again. You did this in the pre-show. It's not DeAndre Jordan.
I did it on purpose, man. I'm doing it on purpose. But yeah, what were your thoughts on...
Dude, that's fucking nuts, man. I mean, him and Aaron breaking up, man.
Rodgers.
That's crazy. That's his, like, boy toy.
And apparently Aaron Rodgers was part of the whole... Like, it didn't catch him by surprise. He's been part of that negotiation. Not so much as, like, send him off, but he was like, yo, let's try to keep him and... Okay.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers came back to the Packers thinking he's gonna have Adams there, man. Like who the fuck else? He doesn't really have a lot of options.
So now they got a draft, right? Look at me saying these things like I freaking understand football, man. I'm legit quoting my WhatsApp groups, my football WhatsApp groups conversations verbatim. Is this a big deal? I guess is what I was gonna get at.
This is a big deal. Yeah, I think the AFC is probably. I think like the other angle of it, like it's all easier for Brady now, right? The teams around him have gone a lot weaker.
Brady comeback season. Were you guys surprised when he came back?
Oh, no way. That was predictable, man.
He loves it.
I was curious. I was like, did he really just get sick of being at home for 2 months that his wife was like, he's like, you know what, I'm going to go back to work.
That's all. Those jokes are so funny about like him having to go to Home Depot because Giselle sent him. Then he's like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go back to work."
The best is his son tried to explain his Minecraft world to him, and he's like, "I ain't got time for this shit.
Yeah,
I ain't ready for this yet." But yeah,
no, the NFL, man, it's been crazy this off season. Yeah, Russell Wilson, Von Miller.
Yeah.
Right, it's crazy. I mean, there's talk about where Gronk was gonna go, and before Brady came back, like
Buffalo was on the table, I think.
Yeah,
for
Buffalo's
him,
on the table, exactly.
which would have been cool as hell, man. Seeing him in Buffalo.
You guys are Buffalo fans?
Not really, but I don't mind seeing them win. Like,
yeah,
they're close to city, so why not?
I agree.
I don't like the Buffalo fan base enough.
Mafia.
Bills I don't Mafia? Like. I just like watching them lose. I like watching them. I like seeing them suffer. So.
Why? Mind you, I hate the Sabres, so I can agree with you there.
It really just came back from one of my friends got in a fight at a Buffalo Bills game and it became really racial. He still loves the Bills. He's like, yo, as a dumbass fan, whatever. I'm like, yo, fuck that. Fuck Buffalo fans altogether. And I just kind of stuck with it.
Cincinnati's definitely not a racist fan base. They're really known in the world city.
Hold on, what, you think Buffalo's racist?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see that?
I never looked.
I mean, look, to your point, the Bengal fan base, they did a commercial when the Bengals got there, and 99% of that commercial was white. And I was like, maybe I need to reconsider my fan base. But like trying to pick a fan base based on woke politics is always weird.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying,
you should be a Seahawk fan then.
Yeah, maybe. But like, I went hard. Look, I said fuck Buffalo once. I just wanted to keep that energy going and keeping it consistent throughout my life.
What, Buffalo?
No, yeah, the fuck the Bill fan.
The only Buffalo team. No, Hasek was on the Sabres, right?
Yeah, he was. I hated Hasek.
Yeah, I hated Hasek too. I remember cheering for Pat LaFontaine. That's the last Sabres I can remember. That's back in the day.
I remember that.
It's really old.
Which you are.
But yeah, a
But
lot
yeah,
going
man.
on in the NFL apparently. So maybe this is the season I actually start paying attention.
I know we're all gonna be day one. What?
Honestly, if
Actually, I
I'm,
think this is the year I pick a team. I think.
You haven't picked
I
a
think
team?
no, not football.
I
Why?
mean, I had Bengals and I got lucky with them going to the playoffs, but I haven't watched a full-on Bengals season in almost like 8 years.
I always expected Toronto to have a team. I expected a team when I was younger. That by the time I'm this age, that Toronto would have a team. I was
Yeah, but
100% sure of
Buffalo
it.
won't let it happen, right?
Yeah, so I
We're
mean,
too close.
It'll kill their market.
Would
You know?
it? I don't
I
think it
know,
would.
not
Definitely.
kill, not kill.
Come
The
on.
fan
you
base
don't
is
think
passionate
so?
enough. No, I know we have a lot of Toronto people going
Their
over to
TV
Buffalo
rights?
games.
Wait, think about their TV rights. Who's gonna watch Buffalo games?
I mean,
if-
just
A lot of Toronto people are Buffalo fans.
here's the thing I heard once a long time ago that made sense. I don't know how true it is, but it seemed logical. Is the biggest reason Toronto can't get a team is American advertisers can't really capitalize on us.
Yeah, but we got the Blue Jays, so I mean,
The Blue
And-
Jays,
and
And
the
NHL
Raptors.
teams,
But-
yeah,
Yeah.
and Raptors, yeah. It doesn't make sense.
It
no, it's
doesn't
like
make
the way the
sense.
NFL contracts are done and the TV contracts are done. They're just like, look, I don't know, maybe the NBA was smaller money or
But they
Yeah,
did.
but
Montreal
They
used to
just,
have
they
an
just
NFL
did a
team.
brand new
did
deal.
it? Did Montreal have an NFL team?
At one point, I'm pretty sure they did.
And man, like that contract thing doesn't make sense. They just have a new TV deal now. Any prudent lawyer drafting a contract like that would always take the contingency of Canadian or European teams joining the NFL because they're always pushing into those markets anyways, right?
Look at
So-
you trying to big up lawyers. Say any lawyer could solve this problem. I don't know, man. It seems
They're-
like a
they're just- it's
Isn't
just
every
a
commissioner a
contingency
lawyer and they're horrible? Isn't Gary Bettman a lawyer?
Yeah, he is.
so you are
Montreal
very much
Machine.
like
Oh no,
a,
sorry,
thing.
the World
Bettman.
Football American League.
I mean, they have the
Is
XFL, so maybe we'll get an XFL team.
Yeah,
Yeah, how are you guys excited about the XFL? Like
I'm
the
Not at
interested,
all,
reimbursement?
man.
really.
yeah.
I'll-
I'm kind of looking forward to it.
I think The Rock's gonna do a good job.
When
Yeah.
it gets hot, I'll definitely pay attention when it becomes relevant. I'm like a pop culture nerd.
So it's like if they make it
I'll
like
bandwagon when it becomes cool.
So I guess the CFL, sorry, Montreal Machine, that was a team till '92. They were like in a development, I guess like a B league. But if they bring the XFL and they kind of do it like a development league where, like baseball does, the minors, that'd be pretty cool,
That would be
right?
cool.
Like that's where you set your younger players to develop a bit. Like if they do that kind of a system, that would be, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Especially if Toronto got a team like that, that would be cool. Like we got an XFL team.
Then
then
baby
Buffalo's
steps
the
to
major
having
market.
a
I mean, if the
team.
ticket's cheap, I'll take my kids there. I'll go there.
Well, who goes to Argos games? Nobody.
No, they get a good size sellout.
When's
No,
the last time you went to an Argos
Not in
game?
I haven't been. But when they did their CFL thing, they had the extra bleachers for the Argos. Like there is an Argos fan base. I think just because we're not part of it, I don't think it's fair to say it doesn't exist.
I know the Rough Riders, like they are,
The-
like that is Saskatchewan,
Yeah,
like a huge fan base because that's the only team. But Toronto, no, I don't. I think TFC.
I
has a
don't think
bigger
I've ever
fan
met a CFL fan.
I know. I mean, I'm being a TFC fan. I can say that TFC games are pretty lit. But I don't know. I feel like the Argos do have fan bases. We just don't. We're just not in that bubble.
Do you know a person that follows CFL?
I don't. But I'm sure there are.
Why
I'm sure they
why Are you
exist.
defending them so much? I'm so curious. This is so funny.
I'm just saying. I mean, one, I'm a sucker for the underdog. I think there are Argo fans. I'd get an Argo jersey. There's been times I wanted an Argo jersey. Sometimes their jersey's been
It's Jersey, but I don't care for the
the franchise
or the league.
Fair enough. All right. One thing I kind of want to get off my chest. It's not really a rant. Piccard came back. I don't know if you've ever watched Piccard.
Yeah,
It's a
Yeah,
Star
what's-
Trek show.
It came back, so I never watched. Is this a
Is it
season
season
two?
two?
New season started. Season 2 started.
I haven't
Season 1.
seen season 1, but I liked Next Generation, so
Yeah.
go for it.
And so growing up, not a big Star Trek guy. I was always more of a Star Wars guy. Piccard, comparing Piccard to like Mandalorian or Boba Fett, so much better. So much better.
This guy's gonna keep going on this point for
I'm
like a
surprised
year.
you're saying that
You don't find that true?
because I don't think you can compare, but
Two space. I mean, what is a more
the two
contested-
movies or two series in the same genre.
Yeah,
so
But
how can you not compare them? When you
They're
say you
both
can't
sci-fi.
compare,
They're both sci-fi. Then
Yes.
there's so much sci-fi is too expensive. Can you compare that and Marvel?
but they're space like when it comes to like shows that are constantly compared to Star
Guardians
Wars and
of the
Star Trek,
Galaxy,
right?
Guardians of the Galaxy and Mandalorian. Can you compare it?
Yeah. I mean, if
Okay.
you compare the Star Wars universe with
He's
Marvel
lowering you again.
thing,
He's doing the lawyer thing.
yeah, no, but look, Piccard. I'm saying Piccard is a much better sci-fi space odyssey show than Star Wars. Mandalorian and Boba Fett have been.
Is it more entertaining
Yes.
visually?
Yes. Higher production quality, better writing, more thought. Like the storyline actually has some depth to it, I think.
What I don't like about Piccard is they try to go too woke, and they've done that with the new Star Trek series as well. The going really woke is kind of weird.
It's a show about alien life form and like them constantly accepting and bringing people into the
Well,
Federation.
to be
That show
fair,
by nature was woke.
Star Trek was always super super woke for its time. But right now it's like just pushing the envelope, which kind of throws me off a bit. It kind of only because it seems unnatural how hard they're trying to be woke with the current edge of wokeness of today's society.
Like I feel like Star Trek was the first show to really bring up transsexuals, transgender rights, and like
Yeah, for
do it very nonchalantly. So
Yeah.
like Star Trek, like you said, it's at the edge of wokeness to begin with. So I don't know if calling it Picard too woke is against it's fair considering that's just Star Trek's brand.
Maybe. I guess, now that I'm an adult watching Star Trek, I'm contemporary with the time that it's being, shown in. And, I'm finding it a bit too woke, but yeah, you're right. It's on brand for them. But other than that, man, 100%, I agree with you. The writing's great. Picard does a great job. Well, they've done a great job with the Piccard character, and the storyline is still like new and engaging, and so I fucking love where they've taken it. But as far as the comment about comparing to Mandalorian and whatnot, like and Boba Fett, no way, man. It's totally different. Boba Fett doesn't try to be what Star Trek series is trying to be. They're trying to be like the Western of
Yeah, it was like a side story, bro.
yeah.
Just let it go.
Can't we just acknowledge those shows suck though? Come on.
Okay, I'll acknowledge it's not the best show on TV, but I'm not gonna say it sucks.
Or the story. Compare just the stories.
I was
Cards-
entertained.
I mean, I watched them, but I don't know if I want to.
This guy, you weren't around here, Robbie, because you were busy on your drug-fueled vacation. But he was a big stan of
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, the trailer. We broke it down. It was
So-
crazy.
Oh, he's ready. Like he's excited.
I'm
about
down for
that.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Obi-Wan because I think Obi-Wan's a big enough character.
Wait,
And
wait, what?
I feel like that storyline.
Wait, what?
Look,
This is 'cause
man.
So what if the storyline's crap, but it's entertaining?
Then I'm done. If the storyline does not hold up to what I have for Obi-Wan,
Well, he dies. We all know that.
yeah, like I feel like the canon for Obi-Wan is pretty well recognized. They picked a nice void of what's going on in his life on Tatooine at the time, but if the writing sucks, 100%, I'm gonna say, yo, they fucked up Obi-Wan. They dropped the bag on that.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to wait till May.
And Piccard,
To,
Piccard being a predominant character in Star Trek, I think they're doing him right.
Yeah,
I think the show is great for that
he's
legacy.
by far, in my opinion, he's the best captain of all the series.
Wouldn't he have been your captain, like when you were coming up as a Trekkie?
What was your
Yeah,
favorite Trek series in Next Generation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
And like,
Deep Space? You guys didn't like Deep Space?
Deep Space is
Voyager?
my second favorite.
Voyager wasn't bad either.
Oh, Janeway's
Not the
such a
greatest, but
bitch.
still watched it.
see, I did not get into any of those shows because I feel like at that time I was just like a hard Star Wars stan. But comparing them now, I'm like, you know what? I need to go back and watch a lot of these old Star Trek stuff because I watched. What was the guy? Who's the guy that did Family Guy?
Seth
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane had his own take
Yeah.
on Star
What
Wars.
was it called again?
It's so funny. Oh,
I forget the
man.
name of it, but I love that show. And I'm like, look, honestly, at this point, I kind of want to go back and watch.
Below Deck, the cartoon thing, right? No. Then
No,
he had his own. He had his own show.
He had his own.
a
He had
show,
his
yeah.
own.
Three seasons of it.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but it was very much like just playing off the parody of what Star Wars was or Star Trek was. And I kind of like, yo, I could kind of go back and I want to watch the originals now because the parodies are funny enough.
So
That
funny.
the original storyline seemed like they would have been held
The
up.
only reason I think I only watched it was on City Pulse, right? Or whatever that channel was, Channel 7
Yeah,
for kids. Next
yeah.
Generation, I think it was. That was the main channel.
I never got into it. It was over
I
my
never
head as a
understood, and
kid.
the best is I never understood it, but I kept watching it.
I never watched it as a kid because I just got bored. I'm like, this is just a lot of standing around talking.
My parents bought me the manual of like like the engineering manual. Like a book this thick. Okay. It's like talking about quasars and like
An
anomalies and
engineering manual that
engineering
has no
manuals,
real
like
engineering in it. It's
how
all
to
made up.
how to reroute the fucking plasma supply from the fucking warp engines, and if one nacelle goes down, what do you do with the other one? Fuck, it was crazy.
You read that shit, didn't you?
I remember like leafing through it, like, oh, I don't fucking understand any of this. What if
That's usually what happens with lawyers. They don't understand much.
All right, quickly going on. We're so tight on time. We've already gone well over what we wanted normally. Bonded of the week.
Wait 1 second. New shows. You guys watching anything?
Oh, sorry, Ranji, you wanted to say something about Bel Air.
Oh yeah, dude. If you guys are caught up, I'm just gonna say this. If not, spoiler alert. Like,
I haven't seen episode 7.
I haven't seen it. I'm not caught up.
I don't know. I haven't seen the last episode, but I'm up to episode 6.
I'll go for it. I don't really
Episode
care.
6 was the party. The party.
okay, so just one comment. I find it fucking weird that Will is going after his cousin's ex. It's making me feel so cringe inside. I fucking can't stand him. It's so weird. Is that like not a universal no, or is that like a optional thing? Like Gore washing hands in the washroom. We have to do it. They don't. It's optional for them. It's just like different society, right?
So I'll say this much: when Will made a move on Lisa after Carlton said, "I'm not down with you doing this," and he had like a breakdown and all that, and it's been acknowledged like, "Yo, it hurts him to see Will with Lisa," and they went in for the kiss. I was like, "Bro, you fucking crossed the line. Can't do that shit."
Yeah, it's fucked up. I fucking can't.
You went
stand
against the
character.
rules. I was
I can't-
not down with that.
Oh, you guys are into this show, eh?
Yeah, I'm fucking sold. I tell everyone, I'm like, I'm so into this shit.
Yo,
I'm
shit,
such
a
a friggin'
replay of
Muppet.
the shit that he was talking the first week. That would have been great.
I'm such a Muppet. I'm so getting into all these characters. Really, I'm digging everyone right now.
Looking forward to. I don't know if it's this week or no. I think it's 2 weeks. Moon Knight on Disney Plus. Have you guys seen the trailers for that?
Never even heard of it.
Moon
I
Knight,
gotta.
is it? Look that up. New Disney show with that. Do you guys watch Dune?
I haven't watched Dune
I
either.
watched the first one. It was
You know
really
the
good.
dad? What's his name? Oscar something. He plays the X-wing.
Oh yeah.
It's him. It's his whole. It's just based on him. He's the main
Sick.
character.
No, I haven't seen any of Dune.
Last Kingdom. Do you guys watch the Last Kingdom?
Nope. I've been told I should watch it. I haven't watched that.
Well, anyway, season 5 just came out on Netflix. For
I
anyone
heard
who wants to
Jujutsu
know it.
Kaisen had a movie, so I gotta go watch that. But no, I haven't seen Last Kingdom.
All right. So before we lose the last two, listeners, which is my mom and Pua, probably at this point.
Thank you.
Let's go into this Bhandar of the week. Who is it, man? I don't really know the story. I see
Your mom's gonna hate me. I'm like the villain.
yeah.
Pawan Malik, man. Pawan Malik. The
Oh,
guy
yes.
does a hit and run.
Bundle of the week.
Hit and run. Person he killed hits, dies. Guy friggin' books it to India. Is that even a thing? Can you still get away with doing that? You said like extradition. Like what's extradition with
Extradition.
India?
There's an
Extradition.
extradition. There is a treaty, and they will. Like we saw it with the mom and mama in BC who got their daughter and son-in-law killed for marrying a rickshaw driver. Remember that?
Yeah.
So they got extradited from Canada to India. So there is a treaty, but like the practicality of someone running to India, man, like Indian police isn't that crazy where, they'll find you if you don't want, you don't want to be found there, they can easily find you. I
India's
don't
a
think
big
they're that
place.
sophisticated.
It's a big place.
It's a big place. People can move around a lot more easier there with more impunity. I mean, it's sometimes like they're just lazy cops, right? You'll go move to your non-kip and then that's all it takes.
Is really that it? That's the extent of running from the police there? Ducking
So
the
a
police there?
Punjabi guy moving to Bombay, like he'll be okay on
Or
the run.
UP. They'll never find them.
Yeah,
200
Like-
million people.
Doesn't he have to change his name and go through all that technical process of like...
But if he wants to, it's probably easier doing it there
But,
than
like,
anywhere else.
I just can't imagine that you would live a life on the run in India.
But we're assuming he's smart. He was stupid enough to do what he did. So, if he gets caught, I wouldn't be surprised either.
I don't know. Bonded of the week easy. I don't like in my mind. I'm like, but he's gone to India. He's like, haha, I'm safe. he's on the next flight back to Canada, facing court, going to jail here for that same shit.
Yeah,
It just
it's not.
is it really
The sad thing is, I put my money on him not getting caught.
really. I see when I read it, I'm like, but he's
You're on
getting
his
caught.
team.
Yeah,
Maybe he needs a
Yeah.
lawyer.
Jai Hind.
I thought he was gonna. That's another thing, man. Is it derogatory to be against someone saying Jahind?
No,
Oh, they want to. They're proud. Why do you care?
What's the equivalent of that? Is that like someone saying USA, USA?
No, like
I'll say the
hey,
context. Someone showed up in my chat on stream one day, yesterday, and they're like, "The Sardar-ji Jai Hind," and I was like, "Fuck you, get the fuck out!" I blocked the guy. I'm like, "Yo, I ain't got that energy here. Fucking go suck Modi's dick in someone else's chat."
yeah, I think you went a little too hard.
I think you would.
I was mad,
Bro was just saying,
offended.
yo, we're Indian. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
I was really
Did he call
triggered.
you? Wait, 1 second. Did he call you Sardarji?
He said
the JI?
Sardar-ji.
yeah, and he recognized that
He recognized you, bro.
you're Sardar, and the army is comprised of a lot of Sardars and the people who laid the founding cornerstones of that nation.
So
To
this guy
arm
was trying to be
conflict.
nice to you.
We're not
And now you-
recognize what your ancestors have done. And he was trying to pay you respect, and you told him to fuck
Facts,
off.
and you just turned around and shoved it back in his mouth.
And I
Yeah,
don't feel bad about it. Like, go ahead, you guys can justify. Fuck that guy coming out here, Jai Hind, man. Fuck that
But
shit.
maybe he was just trying to be friendly.
Man, friendly with these nuts. Fuck, man. I ain't down with that. I don't know. I was really triggered. I was really offended.
yeah.
So
I don't
if
see
someone comes up to you and then says, "Hey, man, go to Singh. Nice to see you," you're gonna get offended.
What's wrong with that? What's the relationship?
You call him go to Singh. You're not a go to Singh
some.
because he just thought you were Indian.
Oh, if he called me, I would have
sing.
sing. I wouldn't be
He's-
offended. No, I don't know, man.
So-
Something about
so-
Jai Hind is very. My association with Jai Hind is RSS guy who probably wears khakis to sleep. I didn't
You know,
want-
our parents said that every day at school when they after
Yeah.
like
What does
they-
it mean? I'm being so ignorant here. What
go
does it mean?
India, go India, or long live India or something like that, right? More or less.
Literal
See,
tradition.
I'm at the point where if I saw a video of my mom saying Jai Hind, I'd troll her. Like, Mom, Jai Hind. And she'd like, well, I don't get it. I'm like, ah.
It is a salutation and a slogan that originally meant victory to Hindustan, and
There
in
you go.
contemporary usage, long live India.
So you're saying I'm brainwashed?
Long
I was
live India.
offended.
What's wrong with that?
I think you got offended for someone paying respect to you, and that's kind of weird.
I thought I wasn't down, man. I don't know why. And then afterwards, I'm like, man, did I come across too harsh?
It was coined during India's independence movement from British rule. So
Also,
it
the
came in
time
at a
that we
good
really,
time.
it came right when we were getting fucked.
Well, we dropped the
Are-
ball.
The origins. I like Ranji's trying to play because he wants to go back to India soon.
Yeah,
Mr.
but, like,
Mr.
it's legit. Like, I know I'm supposed to hate India. I don't really know.
I don't.
I honestly
Yeah.
don't. There's a different
people
rules, different game. It's completely different, man.
And then, anyways, why do we call that kid? Why are we saying bucket of the week for like the W of the week?
We're being cheeky. It's not the go. It's
You
the
said the goat of the week. I said bucket.
Oh,
Let's just keep it. We're calling Bhandar. We're not saying monkey of the week.
yeah, bucket of the week. So I know you guys see this kid, a story about the Punjabi kid who school
Nah.
trip. They're all the kids are going home, getting dropped off at their bus stops. Bus driver has a heart attack. The bus is going off the road, about to hit a light post. Kid jumps in action, hits the brake, saves the bus from any real damage. Everyone's like, "Yo, kid's a hero." I think he's an absolute ledge.
That's fucking
Agreed.
crazy. Where is this in the states?
What
England.
did people say? What did
England.
people say?
England.
That's crazy. How old is he?
It sounded like he was in grade school.
Sorry,
Fucking
Shinda, could you
nuts.
tell me, what did you say? What did they people say? I missed that.
He's an absolute ledge.
Oh,
Legend.
agreed.
The
Okay,
Okay,
area-
boomer. Legend.
Legend.
it was from Twinsburg City School District.
I have no idea.
Thanks.
Twinsburg.
Thanks.
I'm on
Thanks for
Google
looking.
Yeah,
Twinsburg.
that narrows it down.
Yeah, great job there,
Twinsburg.
Shinda.
Oh, it's Ohio,
Yeah, what are you talking about?
England, whatever, man.
Yeah,
England, Ohio,
your name
same
in the
shit,
bundle
right?
of the week, man. Seriously.
Either way, man. Kid.
Kids a
You know what's
G.
funny is I was looking at the picture. I'm like, that looks like a very American park. But, anyways, American Ohio, happened in Ohio. Let's go Ohio State.
Hold on, you'll say that, but you won't say Jay Hind, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you guys think I freaking really overreacted with that
I
Hind
think
comment, eh?
yeah.
I don't think anyone's
Like I
gonna be
wasn't
on
trying
your
to catch
side.
smoke, man. You gave it to him.
Anyways, I don't think I'm not
I think
gonna.
you should find him, unblock him, and apologize.
Nah, fuck him.
Hey, just tell him you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
I was having a great day. I was having a great day until he came in and said Hind, and then it's been on my mind since that fucking thing happened, man.
See, you're still saying with such negativity. I think you need a counseling session. You need to talk to
I think
somebody.
I think I'm too down the rabbit hole.
You might know someone who helps you with that stuff. So
I'm too down that rabbit hole, man. But yeah, kids definitely go to the week. And there's this other video that I just saw today of the one Singh who was in Miami or something. And then he started.
Randy hasn't seen it. He's gonna have a reaction. He says an organic reaction.
Ooh.
Organic.
Organic.
Yeah. I don't check this out. I thought the guy was pretty dope. But
Has he seen it? Are you looking at it, Ranji?
I'm watching wherever it is. I'm waiting for it to pop up.
like I thought it was a lot
you
cooler than
watched
the Bhangra thing we've been like seeing nonstop everywhere. So for those listening, do you want to set it up, Ranji? You're watching. You may as well.
No, I can't even see it.
Oh, anyways, it's a guy. He's on a boardwalk in Miami.
In the notes.
There's some buskers. They're dancing. I don't even know if they're buskers, but there's a bunch of guys. They're having fun, and they're just like dancing around.
That's the word you use.
Isn't that what it is? People with
I
the
know,
thing.
but
That's a busker, right?
I'm surprised you pulled that word out.
Oh, you're surprised I have a
I thought you would have. I
vocabulary?
thought you would have just. Said
You want me to show you
street
my
dancer.
Wordle score, brother? I got words for
You
days.
suck at Wordle.
What are you talking about? I guarantee you have a higher streak than you right now.
Yeah, tell me your score. I'm gonna try to catch it in a week.
There is no score. I can paste.
Oh.
It's your overall thing. But yeah, so he's on the boardwalk. He comes in and he jumps right in with these guys. Like they bring him and they were like patting him into the little dance circle, and he holds it down. I was like, yo, this guy's that's pretty dope. It's way better than friggin' Gagandeep Pandey and the Maritime Bhangra group.
Yo, what's your hatred with that guy? I've been watching it on Twitter. You're always ranting about it. What's going on?
I just think they're so fucking cringe, man.
Why? He's just doing Bhangra. Tenukia.
I'm gonna do Bhangra for the peace of Ukraine. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Go fucking Jai Hind something. I
It's
don't know.
like a stupid gimmick now. Like, just drop it now.
It's a dumb
agree.
gimmick.
It's a dumb gimmick. It was cool like the first few times he did it. Now it's just a dumb
Now
gimmick.
it's just overplayed. Talking about gimmicks, Razor Ramon, aka Scott Hall, passed away.
Yeah,
I was kind of
RIP.
sad. That
That was
was.
sad, yeah.
Sad
I
to
mean,
hear.
I'm not.
His life. To be fair, his whole life has been sad after wrestling. But
It's a difficult life for sure. I saw
Yeah.
bits and pieces on YouTube and around in like podcast interviews. Razor's Edge was such a pivotal move that I've done on my brother nonstop.
yeah, we
And,
did
like-
it to all our siblings.
The Chico with the toothpick in the fucking ear and throwing it at people. I don't know. And NWO.
We used to have like crazy.
Oh.
As in Malton, someone's lawn would become a ring, and there was like a wolf pack and the NWO, and like there would be a bunch of kids doing wrestling moves on each other for like hours, and literally people got hurt. I'm not lying to
Yeah.
you. No,
You're
people
like,
got
how
hurt.
did anyone not have a spinal injury by the end of this? I don't know. I was kind of, for me, it's one of those things where parts of your childhood are starting to disappear, and such big parts of your childhood. I'm like, damn, that's when you're really getting old. And I'm
Yeah,
sure, like,
I felt like it reignited some memories of the NWO and stuff like that that you hadn't thought about in a while. So
I play wrestling with my kid, and then I'll pin him down and do 1, 2, 3. But I always think like he doesn't really understand why we do, back down and 1, 2, 3. Like he'll never understand.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
definitely
well,
going to let
I
my kid
saw
watch
your-
wwrestling. I think
I
I'm going to
saw
watch wrestling with my
your-
kid.
what do you
I might
mean he'll never
start getting
understand? You show him wrestling, he'll understand. I don't
Yeah,
get
but-
it.
I might
WWE.
watch it again, yeah.
I
I'm
think-
really out of it.
Yeah.
I remember I was pretty young when we started watching wrestling. I honestly don't. I mean, maybe I have to tell him not to friggin' Razor's Edge's brother and stuff. Or
Yeah, Razor's Edge is such a cool wrestling move, man.
that was such a dope move, and it required strength to
Dope
do.
move.
Like to get the guy on your back and
And then just powerbomb him.
powerbomb him from there. Fucking legend, man.
How
And
did kids not die? How did no one die from that? Like people were doing it to each other all the time.
on the grass. My brother got Razor's Edge on the grass too. So I actually razor's edged my brother off a chair onto the fucking ground once.
Even the Undertaker's move, the tombstone or whatever it used to be.
I understood that the tombstone was dangerous. That I never
It's not
really,
dangerous. You crack someone's neck.
I never tombstoned hard. I always power bombed and razor's edge though.
The best was the stunner though. When Stone Cold came out in school, everybody's trying to stunner each other.
Such an ineffective move. Like
But it was just the fun of doing it, right? Trying to kick the
it
guy in
hurt
the
the guy.
groin.
It hurt the guy doing it because he landed on his ass.
The figure 4 though, that was legit.
Sharpshooter.
Yeah,
Sharpshooter. legit.
sharpshooter. Being able to
Sharpshooter.
pull off a sharpshooter, and I'm like, yo, the guy really needs to be unconscious for you to go put a sharpshooter on a guy. How the hell do you put a sharpshooter on anyone? Like,
The setup,
remember-
the setup's not,
I used to always have to like really kick my brother hard in the nads before being able to put the sharpshooter on him because he'd fight that shit. I'm like, look, for this to like work, I gotta get you winded. Yeah, but it's weird. We're at that point where like big guys from our childhood are starting to pass away. We're getting old, man.
Yo.
But yeah, rest in peace, Razor Ramon, the bad guy.
Bad guy.
On that note, you guys got anything you want to plug on as we on our way out?
Nah, sponsor us, please.
Yeah, holy
Paintball tournament. Paintball tournament coming this summer.
Yeah.
If you made it this far in the
Organized by
podcast, respect to you. This one was a long one. I recognize because Robbie's just not ready for war.
What? That
Pretty
wasn't my
much.
point.
Robbie supports Russia is what he's trying to say.
That's what I'm going at.
But yeah, boys, this is a fucking late one for me. I am ready to get out of here.
Time to sleep. All right, take it easy.
All right. Peace.